The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
Ah!
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers,
You pig!
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this, Aaron Rodgers will be on Friday, Tuesday, September 19th, 2023. This program starts right now.
Football!
Happened last night. Two different games took place on Monday Night Football. One on ESPN at 7:15, which saw the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints do-si-do in a battle of doozing and sleeping and snoozing. Defensive battle, but congrats to the Saints getting a big-time win on the road. Woo! And then the second game was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as Yinzers were out and they were loud. The stadium, which is now Acrisure, formerly known as Heinz, was bumping from literally play one with a pick six in Deshaun's face. Now, Pittsburgh Steelers would go on to get a big-time win. T.J. Watt would continue to cement himself as the best defensive player in all of football. Wait, Micah Parsons? Wait, T.J. Watt? Wait, Chris Jones? Wait, Nick Bosa? There is a lot in that conversation, but T.J. Watt is going to cement his name, I believe, as the man with the most sacks in one single season. He's on pace to get 34 of those things.
I'll get it done.
Obviously had a scoop and scored a touchdown and won them the game. Highsmith coming off the other side is incredibly fast, and that's a great little tag team off the edges for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, which is always going to be good. But this dude is phenomenal. Now, when he breaks it, obviously we'll owe him $500,000 to charity. That was something that just came flowing out of my mouth while we were talking to him because I thought to myself, the record's been around for how long? 100 and how many seasons? 4? 5? 105 seasons?
Yep.
Somebody hasn't been able to do it. Now it's 17 games as opposed to 16 games, so there's going to be an asterisk next to every record that breaks in the modern era with the 17 games. But still, this record's been around a long time. A lot of greats have played football that have been trying to tackle quarterbacks. If this dude's able to do something and break his own record pretty much, we might as well let him have it. This son of a bitch is going to do it.
He might.
He is going to do it. And if you look at the tracker here on the Turner's Premium Iced Tea, which is obviously Pittsburgh's finest nectar, he is 4 down on his way, and he is on pace for 34. Record is 22
and a half.
Yeah. And obviously we all remember how one of those records happened where Brett Favre just laid down. Hey, Brett, that's facts.
It is.
That's what people say?
That's not punditry.
No.
That's not opinions. We did not break that news.
Got a guy a morning TV job.
Yeah.
Shook his hand after it happened.
Yeah, said, hey, good job. Anyways, TJ, if he goes and gets it, he deserves it. But this Pittsburgh Steelers team gets a massive win over a Browns team that was very dominant week one. Oh. And now the entire conversation revolves around Nick Chubb. That is so sad.
Man.
The boys are all here. The Talks Table at Boss Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn Cowboys, massive Pittsburgh Steelers fan, Tone Diggs is here. And 9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler is here. All the boys in the back, obviously. This Nick Chubb injury, obviously, is one that they didn't even show the replay of, which I appreciate them doing.
Yes.
Now, granted, the internet couldn't put it into
couldn't
put it into our timelines fast enough. So I saw that guy's knee bend sideways the wrong way about 1,000 times on the internet last night. I do thank ESPN for not shoving it down our face, ABC for shoving it down our face. That looked bad. It looked terrible. Anytime a Cleveland Browns player replay is shown of him on the Jumbotron and through the TV, you hear them all go, oh! In Pittsburgh, which is a football town and a town that does not like the Cleveland Browns. Yep. You knew it was bad. And then whenever he gets carted off, they're chanting his name and cheering for him. That's one of those injuries that is like going to scar some people after they see it and they watch it. And Nick Chubb had the same thing happen years ago. Now we're staring down a Browns team that revolved around him. He was their best player, and he's got a long man. If we're out Nick Chubb of football, that is, they're saying season, but like
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I watched that video, dude. This sucks for Nick Chubb and obviously the Browns as a whole. Even though Pittsburgh gets a win, I think they're feeling the same way.
Yeah, it was tough to see. Now, Ford broke some big plays, but like you said, that team, that offense is built around Nick Chubb. One of the last running backs, to get a new deal too, in recent kind of NFL history. But now you got to depend on, the $230 million quarterback, Deshaun Watson back there. Coop made some plays. He played hurt. We know that. The other guys obviously going to have to step up, but that is a huge, huge loss for the Cleveland Browns, obviously.
Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I don't want to say like the classiest bunch normally, right? Whenever the time calls for it, we're humans.
Answer the bell.
But appreciate being a tough place to play, like hostile place to play. Welcome to our city. Go home with an L. That moment there, I think, with Chubb was incredible. And then on the flip side, at the very end of the game, when all the Pittsburgh Steelers fans that were, showing class for Nick Chubb on his way out with his injury and chanting his name and saying, hey, pal, we want your last thoughts of this night to be that there are 70,000 plus Yinzers that want you to feel better and thinks that what happened to you is not good. Okay, we are on your side. But at the very end of the game, after getting a win over the Cleveland Browns, the Pittsburgh Steelers fans sounded like this in Acrisure Stadium. So incredible that they were all on the same page because that's a lot. Fire Canada. 5 syllables.
Yeah.
That's incredible they were all on the same page. It does feel like the whole city feels like that.
Yeah.
Do you still feel after a big-time win? George Pickens was eating out there. Pickett was finding them. Naj, obviously, interesting time of his career. But Warren's getting loose. He's scooting.
Yeah.
The offense brings a big-time win home to the Pittsburgh Steelers fans, and all they're thinking about is this offense coordinator can't get out of here fast enough. And if Tomlin thinks that we're loud right now on the internet, wait until he actually hears us. It probably took, 3 Yinzers to go, Fire Canada! And then, who's saying it? Now is our time. Tomlin's here. Even though he has his headset on, he can get it. It's fascinating what's going on with this guy. I have not seen this. Pittsburgh fans expect a lot. Pittsburgh fans love the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh's happiness is much higher whenever the Pittsburgh Steelers are good. City is invested in team. But this is the loudest I've ever heard it around one particular person, especially this early in a season. This guy is the most hated man in Pittsburgh by far. Do you think last night did him any favors on the field, or do you think the fans weren't paying attention?
No, it reached a fever pitch last night, not only on the field but on the internet because it was a national game. I got a lot of tweets and a lot of people telling me, like, oh, I thought you guys were overreacting, but I don't think you guys are, because that's how bad the offense kind of looked last night. Besides Pickens, it's like I don't know if I want to put it all on him because Kenny hasn't looked great either. Kenny's made some mistakes, and obviously if your quarterback's not looking good, then the OC's not looking good. But is he not looking good because of the OC? I just don't know how the defense won that game last night. They scored 14, I believe. The offense scored 12.
And Boz, baby.
Yeah, and Boz is awesome.
Killing
a couple
it.
50-yarders from Boz. But yeah, it reached a fever pitch last night, and I don't know how they move forward from there. They can't do it again. They like another game where they didn't even get 300 yards of offense last night. Like, there was. Like, you have 2 good plays in a row.
Daniel Jones got 316 yards of offense in the second half against Bucks this past week. So,
his team was like 350.
Yeah. So, whenever you're talking about like a 300-yard marker, pretty standard operating procedure for NFL teams, especially with how defenses are playing teams nowadays, basically giving people yards and then tightening up in the red zone whenever it really matters. Doesn't seem to happen against Pittsburgh Steelers. They feel like it's red zone full time.
There's just some, like, there will be 2 good plays in a row, and then you'll have a Matt Canada, hey, let's run a jet sweep reverse that gets shoved up your ass for minus 11, and then you're behind the sticks. Or like, hey, Naj is not the fastest running backs. We see that now. So why are we giving it out of shotgun just east and west every time he gets a run? There's just some things that, or hey, let's run Kenny straight up the middle on a 3rd and 1 that we need to win the game. When that's not even the thing that they ever do. Maybe that's what he was thinking. I don't know.
A bug just landed on a cowboy hat. It kind of distracted me as you were talking towards the end there. We got to maybe get this place debugged.
Yeah, a lot of bugs.
But speaking of bugs, did you see how bugged Mike Tomlin was with the question that came to him last night? Because how Tone feels is how this particular media member feels, asking about Kenny Pickett and Matt Canada immediately after a win against the Cleveland Browns on Monday Night Football.
Coach, again, like I asked you last week, in terms of the slow start of Kenny Pickett, it seems like it's starting to be recurrent. They talk about Matt Canada, but I don't think it's all on Coach Canada. I think that the slow start of Kenny has to take its own responsibility.
Question. What's the question?
Are you going to do anything to spur them or either one of them to kind of maybe up the ante a little bit?
Certainly. We got planning to do next week. It doesn't make sense for me to divulge it in this setting. We got a game coming up in 6 days. We'll let that do our talking.
He's the best.
Yeah. The best.
Bill Belichick, awesome, must
Yes.
listen.
Uh-huh.
Mike Tomlin at a microphone, must listen.
Yeah, different.
Now, I do not believe he is in a good situation with Matt Canada at all, though.
No.
And Mike Tomlin has been a very loyal coach for a very long time. The Steelers organization has been a very loyal organization on who they hire, at what positions, who gets promoted. It's like a damn Chick-fil-A over there. Chick-fil-A, you have to work at Chick-fil-A for 2 years before you can own a Chick-fil-A.
That's right.
So you got to work there, learn the ways, do the whole thing.
Yep.
Then you can potentially own this cash cow that you're going to be able to keep running forever. It's like in Pittsburgh, you have to be there. Now, Tomlin got hired from outside in. I understand that completely for their new head coaching job, and I think that's potentially because Bill Carr actually told them, you need to just go find something new.
Yeah.
He actually told us that on this show.
Yeah.
He said, Bill Cowher, they asked me which one of my guys do they think should be the head coach, and Bill Cowher said, listen, I love all these guys and everything, but when you hired me, you brought me in from the outside. You might want to do that as well. They bring in Tomlin. They always hire from within. In old Canada, very rarely does a coach get fired in the middle of the season in Pittsburgh, if ever. I haven't looked into it enough. It's like a very patient, very old school style run. But with this one, buddy, what are we doing? We're wasting a lot of good years here because if you see Pickett and Pickens, it's like they're a real weapon. They're a real team. Without Deontay Johnson last night, still get a win. I very much understand that. But you see other offenses do their stuff, and it's like the Steelers aren't really taking advantage of any of the things that modern football has for you in the NFL.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen. If ever do they fire anyone in the middle of the season. But I think everyone thinks the Niners and the Browns defenses and especially D-lines are really good. Let's see the next 2 weeks again.
Look at you. Be patient.
Yeah, Tony.
Tony.
Yeah, that's
Raiders and Texans. They have the Raiders and Texans the next 2 weeks. If it doesn't look better against them, then let's,
Yeah, and that's what kind of stinks is what we were talking about a little bit before is Kenny, sure, there are people that are going to say he sucks, and if they want to say that, fine. But
that's because he wears 2 gloves.
Yeah, exactly. And they've been saying that since day one.
What's your problem?
That's part of it.
They've been saying that since day one, but they're not going to know with Canada. If Canada is this bad, they have another year of waiting through Canada and then another year of trying to figure out is Kenny our guy. Yeah, Darius is just so disrespectful.
Bro, I mean, that we've all watched the game. We've played the game for a long time. Coming into the league with 2 gloves is one thing if you got a Hall of Fame career, and late in your career you may have some issues. Peyton Manning, Big Ben, Kurt Warner, went to the gloves late.
You wore 2 gloves.
Who's that?
I wore one. I wore one.
Yeah, out on the edge playing corner. It's like a corner coming in wearing number 35. You got to make some plays,
or kicker,
and then it's like, all right, he's a dog. But and to be fair to the reporter who asked Tomlin that question, hey, you can't put it all on the coach. I said it last week. Good players make good coaches, and I don't think Canada called a terrible game. I don't think he called a great game, but it was some throws that were missed, which there will be every week, every quarterback. So the players got to step up and make some plays too. That's Kenny. Starts with the quarterback.
Yeah, and the missed throws, I absolutely understand that too. And there were some plays where Pickens is wide open and he just doesn't see him and he doesn't read it, but they're going to have to give Pickett another year no matter what happens this season just because of the fact that Matt Canada is kind of the scapegoat. Whether it's his fault or not, and it might be his fault completely, he is going to be the scapegoat.
Well, I like that. That's how Nick feels.
Yeah.
That's how Tone feels. No matter what happens here, you can blame Canada instead of Kenny. We're big-time Kenny Pickett programs.
Yeah, that's right.
We're happy.
Love you, Kenny.
He's going to get loved in this whole thing.
He's got to play better, too.
Well, okay, it's very kind of you.
Pickens and Warren are obviously 2 bright spots, though, so they're making plays.
And that's another thing. As you're watching it all happen, I'm wondering if Tomlin's seeing Warren every time he gets the ball, something good happens. And then when Najee gets the ball, it's always and he had a couple big-time plays. Najee had a couple big-time plays where he cut it back. He did the whole thing. But the Warren guy is exciting, electrifying, has been. Need that in modern NFL. If you have a little speed, a little juice, that opens things up for everybody else, especially whenever you're out Deontay Johnson. I think personally that Dan Orlovsky is coming on the program in 6 minutes. He watched the film. Okay?
Yeah,
he was calling the other game. He watched the film
During the other game?
on the plane, afterwards.
Okay.
And he put out a tweet this morning. He said, this ain't Matt Canada's worst game. Everybody needs to relax. He called a good game. The amount of quote tweets to responses and retweets, obviously big. So Pittsburgh Steelers fans are currently attacking, I believe, Dan Orlovsky pretty loudly. Excited to hear what his thoughts are on Matt Canada's calling of the game last night and of Kenny Pickett, because he watched the tape at 2 a.m. last night. He dove in there, and he knows what he's doing. Remember, he was going to get an offense coordinator job with the Carolina Panthers.
That's right.
Let's talk about that game. So the Carolina Panthers and the Saints game, boy, that was Broncos Colts all over.
Yeah,
again.
bad football.
That was some tough football. Now, Dan Orlovsky, Louis Riddick, and Chris Fowler and Laura Rutledge did a great job.
Yep, loved it.
Way to go. I watched an hour of them, heard an hour of them. I thought it was great. I thought they were really solid. Chris Fowler can obviously call anything. And Dano and Lewis jumping in there with the banter. It was a great first hour.
It was.
But boy, they didn't really have much to talk about. Those defenses were fantastic. And I completely forgot that Brian Burns was on that team.
Yeah.
You know, and then like first play of the game, he's getting a sack. He's on top of the pile. I'm like, oh my God, when I was picking this game earlier, I completely forgot that this Carolina Panthers team in defense won a bunch of games last year whenever they were allegedly not trying to win games at all. Now, they do end up trading the farm to get up to number one. So us assuming that maybe last year they were trying to get to number one, I think is an okay assumption that they were tanking. But that defense wouldn't let it happen with how good they were. I forgot about that. Derek Carr felt them. I think the Carolina Panthers' future could be bright. Frank Reich's, record over his last like 10 games as a head coach or so. Probably not ones that everybody should be looking at.
Terrible.
But Bryce Young did some things that were great. You saw some stuff out of what they were trying to do that says like, okay, they'll have success. But the New Orleans Saints team, I think last night, underperformed in my eyes in what I thought they were going to be. They end up with a win in the division, so they're happy moving along. What did you see from the Saints last night that makes you either believe in them or make us think, are the Falcons the new? Are the Falcons the big dogs in the NFC South?
2-0 too. 2-0.
Baker balling too.
Hey, and the Saints went to 2-0. Still believe in Derek Carr. I still think Derek Carr this year will be the best quarterback in that division. Now, he made some very questionable throws and decisions last night, but he's got some great weapons around him. Mike Thomas is kind of getting back into form, doing what he does. Chris Olave is amazing.
Ridiculous.
He made another incredible catch last night. Rashid Shaheed is a dog. They got weapons out there, and we know for years now on defense, they've been some dogs on that side of the ball. So I think they'll be in good shape as this season continues to unfold. Now, I got more question marks about Tampa, about Atlanta with their quarterback situations, but they're playing well too right now. But I like the Saints. I like what I saw there. And for the Panthers, I think it's going to be. They need some. I feel like no juice on offense. Obviously, Thielen is going to be who he is. He's going to be consistent, make plays.
Hey, he looks good.
Yeah, he played really
looks
well.
good.
He does
for
look
sure.
good.
He's the brightest spot, really.
Yeah, absolutely. But just got to have some juice on the outside offensively when it comes, for Bryce Young to throw that ball down the field at some point.
Yeah, and if we're to visit the Saints with what Derek Carr was able to do, because watching him play and listening to Lewis and Dan and Fowler talk about how Derek Carr talked about his time at the Raiders, and he said, I was hoping to win a Super Bowl with the Raiders, obviously. They never had a good defense out there. Like, that was the first stat that came out. Now with the Saints defense that they have, Derek Carr feels like, hey, we got some weapons, and all those guys you mentioned, Shaheed out of Weber State. He is a weapon.
Yeah.
He's an absolute weapon. He's an early star in this NFL season. But let's not forget, Taysom Hill's still out there.
He was balling.
Taysom Hill's still out there doing
Kamara's not even out there yet either.
Alvin Kamara's back after a 3-game suspension, I do believe. He'll be back week 4. It's like, why not the Saints going on a run? Now, there's going to be games throughout any season. I mean, the Chiefs lost to the Indianapolis Colts last year. So there's games where you're not going to play your absolute best and you're not going to run up the scoreboard. And who knows what this Carolina Panthers become, especially with how good that defense is. But the Saints get a big win on a Monday night, I think, is a good story. And I think the NFC South being as successful as it has been this early in the season has been quite different and contrary to the conversation going into the season about the NFC South.
Yeah, 3 2-0 teams. I don't think anybody saw that one coming. But to D-Butt's point, it feels like the Saints are the easiest to fall back on because they have the experience. And if they are the division winners, playing in New Orleans for a playoff game would be terrible for whoever might fall from the NFC East. You could probably say, whether it be the Eagles or the Cowboys. Having to go to New Orleans and play in New Orleans, if they are that 4th seed, that's a brutal game for a wild card team.
Dude, I love that Baker Mayfield and the Bucs were like, we stink. Okay. I love that the Carolina Panthers defense is like, nobody has mentioned us one time. Did we talk? I don't think so.
No.
Literally, when I saw Burns wrap around the edge and I saw him on top of the pile, I was like, How have I forgotten about this guy's existence? And then the rest of them, so good on that defensive side of the ball. And then you think about the Saints. Derek Carr's talking about winning a championship because of how good the defense is. And then Artie Smith with his mustache. Bijan Robinson is like, him and Christian McCaffrey are the only two with like 250 yards or something. All-purpose yards in the last two games. It's like the NFC, hey, congrats to the NFC South.
Yeah, unreal.
Joining us now is a man who called the battle of the NFC South last night between the Saints and the Carolina Panthers. And although there was next to zero electricity in that game, he brought it on the microphone.
Always does.
One of the times he called one of these games, he farted in the microphone.
So
he was
gross.
actually speaking. He sneezed, went down the sneeze, moved his mic out of the way so that he didn't sneeze into the mic. And guess what? Fart came out. And it was right there.
So gross.
And then he finished his take.
Yep.
Professional, obviously. But hey, we all just heard your butt speak on national TV. Last night, there was no farting.
No.
Thank
There
God.
was no flubbing. There was just electricity from this man with an incredibly small head. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Orlovsky. What's up, Dan?
No farts last night, man. What a win.
I'm pretty pumped that you have finally acknowledged, though, that that is what happened. Because we called that immediately.
Yep.
It was the day after he farted on national TV. And he was saying that he just, that's what he did while he was talking. That's what you said. Remember you said that with a straight face on this show.
That's literally what actually happened.
No, it's not.
Come on.
Okay,
Don't
we're
lie
years
now.
into this thing now. You're like Emmy nominated.
Already owned it.
Just let it
You
go.
can kind of just, you want, because you're a professional, you want to move that mic out of the way so you don't sneeze into the mic.
Smart.
And then
Sneeze so hard you fart.
that's what
Dude,
happened.
every time you do it, every time you do it, I laugh.
Well,
like
that's
I'm
true.
a child,
Yeah, because
but-
we got you. We caught you. Anyways, happy to see you back on Monday Night Football. You deserve it, pal.
Boy, Dan.
Listen.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
We enjoy the way your brain operates. Now, last night we would have wished to see your brain operate a little bit more when they're breaking down big plays or big-time offenses, but last night was the story of the defense. I think we all forgot about that Carolina Panthers defense and how great they were last year until last night. I'm speaking for me. I apologize. Did you expect them to be as disruptive as they were for the New Orleans Saints offense, and what were your thoughts on the Saints offense?
Yeah, for Carolina's defense, I thought that if they could get into those passing situations that they ended up getting into, that they could have some success. I think Ejiro Evero, their defensive coordinator, is really smart with the way he uses kind of attacks protections and attacks offensive linemen. Burns is a very good player playing for a contract. I would hope that Carolina pays him because he is tremendous. I think someone's going to. I think Derek Brown is trending into having to get paid as well. So there's a lot of motivation. We didn't know exactly how well they were going to play last night because J.C. Horn, their corner, is such a good player, and he's out for a hamstring with the hamstring for a while. So I'll be honest with you. I expected more out of New Orleans offense. I think that all the weapons that they have on the outside and that offensive line should be performing better. And I know it's only 2 weeks, but they've probably played their C game. I think, my point was this: when they're rolling, I know it's Drew Brees and Sean Payton, but when they're rolling, they put the quarterback under center. They're really good with their play action game to create chunks. I don't see that right now. And this isn't just for New Orleans. Like, this is just point blank for most offenses in the NFL. If you think you're just going to put your quarterback in shotgun and dink and dunk your way down the field, it ain't going to happen in 2023. It's just not going to.
All right, so that's on the Carolina Panthers Saints game. Congrats to the Saints. Congrats to Dan calling Monday Night Football.
Yeah, we'll go, Dan.
Allergies are crazy. The weather's changing. We're happy you're joining us after a long night. I assume you got a full day today. It is football season. It's Orlovsky season. So let's move. As you're talking about, if you put your quarterback in shotgun and just dink and dunk and have a boring offense and not really utilize the modern stuff that's available to offenses, you're just not doing your. You said, and I quote with a tweet this morning, I do believe we have, Dan Orlovsky tweeted that Matt Canada had a pretty good game last night. I don't think Matt Canada has been a great offense coordinator. I've vocalized that, you said, pretty much. But last night was not on him. You think he had a good game. Now, that got quote tweeted a lot more than it got reposted. I don't know if you saw that. So that normally means people have some ideas that disagree with yours. All of Pittsburgh was chanting, "Fire Canada! Fire Canada!" in the stadium last night, 70,000 deep chanting that whole thing. So when you put this tweet out, I think you're trying to directly go against them or inform them that they're not accurate with their takes. Why did you think Matt Canada called a very strong game last night when the defense had 2 of the touchdowns, Boswell hit 2 50-yarders, and the offense accounted for next to nothing except for a couple massive plays from Pickett to Pickens?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll start with this. One, Cleveland's defense really good. That defensive front is going to outmatch Pittsburgh's front, so that's the start. To your point, I don't think that Matt Canada has done the necessary job to be a really good coordinator in the NFL. So go back to last night. This is why when I watched that game, I watched it this morning and then onto the flight. I think number one, and I don't know exactly what he's getting taught, but Kenny Pickett is not looking at the picture pre-snap and going, I really like this the way I would expect a quarterback to. Like, I'll go back to it. They ran early in the game, Pat.
Take us there, Dan. Take us there, Dan. Take us there.
It's first quarter. There's 8:16 on the clock, okay? He's got – and D-Butt knows this. Okay, so the ball's on the right hash. He's got Allen Robinson as the solo receiver to his right versus Denzel Ward. George Pickens is up, all the way extended out to the field, and I think it's Newsome, or I don't know exactly the corner, but it's man-to-man. It's 3rd and 3. There's nobody out to the field except the nickels covering the slot. There's no extra hole defender. As a quarterback, I got Allen Robinson versus Denzel Ward into the boundary. Denzel Ward, definitely a better cover corner. And then Pickens with all that field running a slant versus a number 2 or number 3 corner. That ball should go to George Pickens at 100 out of 100 times. That's how I would do it. That's how I. And so he goes to Allen Robinson. Right, D-Butt?
Agree.
Troy was
no doubt. He throws it. He throws it to Allen Robinson. Denzel Ward makes a great play. Great. There's another one where he's got Pickens on a wrap route versus press coverage. This happened twice last night. And it's press man coverage. There's an extra hole defender. Kenny takes the snap and goes like 1, 2, 3 ball out timing like it's routes on air. Dude, it's press coverage. D-Butt knows this as well. You got to give that receiver just a fraction of a second to win at the line, move that hole defender, and then give it to that open receiver. But Kenny's throwing it like it's on time. So there's 3 or 4 plays of that.
Notes. Yeah.
Wow.
He's ready here.
This guy watches film.
Yeah, he's ready. He's pro. He's pro.
Stared down guys too much last night, and he has not been doing that. So that was surprising to me. And then I count 3 misses throw-wise that just like you can't in the NFL. Like he's first-round pick. He's got 2 he should be too good of a player to miss those throws. So I don't think last night was a Matt Canada night. I'm not saying it was Kyle Shanahan, but Kenny did not play well last night.
That's kind of been the story of both games. Kenny's missed some, and then Matt Canada's offense has still been it. And I think what Tone says and Steelers fans say, they say is one because of the other, though. You know, that's how much they hate Matt Canada, by the way. Kenny Pickett's playing bad or missing a throw, they're like, got to be Matt Canada. Somehow this has got to be Matt. That's where it's at, Dan. That's where it's at. How do you?
Yeah. I don't like. Again, I think that Matt Canada is probably more of the issue. Yes, in the body of work, the broad scheme of things.
Okay, that was
I'm not
5.
calling. No, I'm not talking about just last night. I've said all along going into this offseason, like, is Matt Canada going to get better? Still the jet sweeps. Like, everyone's going back to that late in the fourth quarter Kenny Pickett run where they're like, it's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. If Kenny Pickett gives the football, it's a first down to Najee Harris. Right. He should be reading the edge pressure and the wrap guy.
Wait, he ran power? Is that what you're talking about? You're talking about power play?
I think it was zone. I think it was a zone read with the backside tight end leading. If Kenny gives the ball, it's first down. So,
so you sound like you're hating on Kenny Pickett a little bit.
Do not like.
You don't like Kenny Pickett because he wears 2 gloves. His hands are small. You got a small head. You ever think about that?
He just didn't play well. He's got to see the field better. He can't miss these layups that are happening in the NFL. I did not like some of the pre-snap decision making. I don't know what he's getting taught, so maybe he's getting taught that. I wouldn't teach it that way. And
I think they would take you as offense coordinator there in Pittsburgh real quick.
Yeah.
Tone has a question for you, Dan.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Dan, because even Troy was talking about it last night, and even on the Pickens long touchdown, he was looking somewhere else first before he even went back to Pickens. But why do you think that is? Because the end of last season, he wasn't doing stuff like that, and then I know it was preseason, he definitely wasn't doing stuff like that. And it seems like his accuracy has dropped so much. Do you have a reason potentially why that is?
No, I don't think there's any mechanical flaws in his game right now, Tone. Like, sometimes when the accuracy goes, are his feet all over the place? Is he dealing with pocket issues that are kind of changing the way or the angle of the throw? I will say this, there were some misses last night that he's throwing the ball so hard. It's almost like watching a dude throw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball off the top of a bump. So I don't know if there's a little bit of a forcing the football in those moments, like just like kind of gripping and throwing it so hard instead of kind of trusting what his eyes are seeing and letting it go. Like even one of those in breakers that I talked about with George, he's just freaking fired, and George gets his heads around and the ball is all over him timing wise. So yeah, I don't know kind of why some of these misses that are creeping up, other than maybe there's just this kind of stress level of trying to be perfect that's forcing some misses.
How do you fix that? You got to go see somebody? Maybe drink some ayahuasca, smoke some dope?
What?
Yeah, I mean, I think, try and kind of ease your mind a little bit probably helps. Taking some of the pressure off helps. Trying to not be perfect. I think he feels the gravity of the situation, like, maybe my play caller's not great, and so, I'm not getting a ton of wide open people, but I can't place it all on Matt Canada, guys. I can't. Kenny Pickett, this is 2 weeks now, hasn't seen the field as well, and he's missed open throws. And so I think they got to figure out why those two things are happening.
He also might like Matt Canada.
Yeah.
So like he hears everything that's being said about Matt Canada, and like it's weighing heavy on him that he's missing throws too. Like, I'm not helping my guy out at all. And they're calling, the whole 70,000 people were chanting for this guy to get fired. And he probably is wearing a little bit of that. I would assume he's wearing that too, right?
Yeah, of course. And it's a tight game, and your defense is playing great, and you start to feel I can't make a mistake or anything, because we should win this football game if I make 2 or 3 plays or 2 or 3 throws. Like, I'll tell you, Matt Canada called a perfect screen pass versus pressure. If Kenny gets the pass off, it's probably going to be a touchdown, and it gets batted down, and that's one of those moments you're like, you got to get that throw off. So, yeah, it's a tough challenge, because I think Cleveland's defense is very good, but this is also the Steelers, and they got really high expectations.
Okay, let's talk about another quarterback that played last night. Take it back to your game. Connor, go ahead.
Yeah, Dan, if that's your thoughts around Kenny Pickett and the Steelers in Canada, what are your thoughts around Bryce Young? Because obviously a lot of the experts on X are saying, look, Bryce Young is throwing to guys who are running 5.5 40s. Is that the case? Is that what you see out there? And do you think Bryce has not a better chance at success, but have you seen enough from him where you think, like, yes, Bryce Young is the guy in Carolina, and he'll definitely, turn that place around at some point in time in the future?
Yeah, he's got all the skills and the traits physically and mentally, needed to go play really well in the NFL. I absolutely still believe that. I think what's going on in Carolina is it's a little bit unexpected when it comes, certainly with the offensive line. I thought the offensive line would play a little bit better than they have the first 2 weeks, specifically in pass pro. Now they're dealing with some injuries. They don't have really anybody that's going to bring vertical juice on the outside consistently. So you saw that with the Jesse Bates interception. D. Butt, I know, talked about this, that like he just started to kind of shrink down vertically to the offense, to the line of scrimmage, because he wasn't scared of anything over the top. That certainly was the case last night with the Saints. As the game went going on, you just started to see like there's not a lot of people open. And I think and Frank Reich talked about this, and Reich talked about it. Like, dude, it's going to be really hard this year. And they're very aware of that. Now that doesn't mean it's going to be in the moment easier, but they know that they have to go through some of this scar tissue experience where they're just getting beat up, and Bryce has got to experience things. There's not a lot of people open. Now, part of this is the Saints' defense is tremendous. I think that, Adam Thielen brings a lot to this offense, but I don't think Adam right now could be the guy that is going on like third down, go win consistently versus really good man coverage.
Is that because he's
I don't
white,
know.
Dan? Is that because he's white? White? Is that why you're saying? Because he's a white?
He's been white his whole life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why you're saying don't throw it to him.
You don't
Is that
like
what
him.
you're saying? Because everybody's saying he's old, he's white. He can't run anymore. Is that what you're saying? Just answer the question. That's pretty easy.
No,
You just tell us
no,
your
it's
intention.
not because he's white. It's not because he's white.
Okay,
no.
well, elaborate a little bit, please. Jeez, you don't think he's as fast?
I just, yeah, he's not as fast, and part of it too. When Adam was, at the peak, it was with Steph or was with Justin, and so that's kind of like where he thrives in that role. And now he's the number one. So, Mingo, their young receivers, got to take a step forward and kind of continue his development. I don't know what's going on with DJ Chark. Maybe he's not as healthy as you would hope, because I think he does bring a vertical element. And so it's that's another part of this conversation, Pat, is I just don't think if you're an NFL offense that if you think you're going to catch the ball out of the gun and dink and dunk for 4-yard completions right now, it's just not realistic, because all these defenses have so many simulated pressures. And I'd say this about Bryce, watching last night, I think Bryce is going to learn very quickly how friggin' fast these guys are on defense. You're not running away from these guys in the NFL as much as you did in college
He
football.
did have a whoop.
He
did have a whoop.
But he did have Demario Davis.
He had the most athletic slide in the history of football.
Yeah. So sweet.
Just kind of a sit down, nice and slow while I'm running.
Need to get that straightened out.
So there's people that can't slide. That's real deal. That's what I just learned right there.
Get your head taken off doing that.
RG triples.
You'd rather slide a little early than a little late there.
Well, he did get down after shaking somebody.
This was a great play by him.
Well, also, I think there was a lot of off-balance throws by him last night.
Yes.
Connor's first take this morning, as soon as I walked in, was like, hey, everybody's talking about how smart Bryce is, but Bryce's feet were like this or like this.
Yeah.
And he was making
darts.
He has a chance, right? I think we all believe he's
Oh, yeah. I think it's realistically, man, it's 36. I said it last night. It's a 36-month window. They got to get in the next year or two really good wide receivers. I've said this a couple times. I said this about Sunday Night Football. Derek Carr had Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Juwan Johnson to throw to. And then Bryce has got Thielen, Mingo, just guys that aren't as talented as those guys. So they got to get two really good wide receivers over the next 2 years. They got to beef up their offensive line, especially on the interior. And I think that's when we'll get to see him play at his absolute best.
Let's talk about a 36-month window coming up. Darius has a question for you.
Hey, you kind of talked about it with the relationship with Canada and Pickett out there with Getsy and Justin Fields. You talked about kind of some of the reads and how you were coaching and what's going on with the offense and how these quarterbacks need to be reading it. What's kind of the fine line with that, with the coordinators and the young quarterbacks, kind of bringing them along and letting them, kind of rip it? And where would you kind of find that balance if you were dialing this shit up?
Yeah, if I was coordinating a young quarterback in the NFL, specifically in their first year or two, my literal words every week would be, let it the fudge go. I want you to, I don't care if you throw 25 interceptions. You've got to figure out how to see things like this in the NFL. And you got to know what you can and can't do. And you got to know, you got to learn what kind of throws you can get away with. I don't care. You'll never develop if you're trying to play hey, we got to try to win this game football with a young quarterback. And as long as your team isn't that win now team, that's the asterisk, right? Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers. When I look at Chicago right now, people are going to sit here and say, I'm trying to absolve Justin. I'm not. Justin has not played well. I'll talk specifically D-butt to Justin. When I watch Justin play.
Gross. Jesus. What the hell?
Sorry, you're going through it with allergies, but I just got to
Smoker's cough.
Yeah.
Do you see my eyes? My eyes are.
Well, that's what mine normally look like too, Dano. Allergies.
Hell.
That's what it is.
Fallen.
Justin right now looks like one of two things. When you watch him drop, he's thinking while he's dropping. He's not Like he's being reactive rather than proactive. You could watch it with his feet. He's like, what are you doing? I don't know where to look. Like there's too many examples of that. So this is one of two things. He either can't see the field and can't read defenses, or he has absolutely zero trust and belief in what he's looking at. Like we've all seen the clip on the internet with the seam, like the weird thing about that play with the tailback when he leaks out the seam and it's that 4 strong, he goes like this. He goes to throw the ball. Mm-hmm. Like he pats it and goes to pull the trigger and doesn't. And that's when you sit there, you see it. I know you see it. Your body language telling me you see it. Why aren't you throwing it? There's another one when I think it's, a 3rd and 13, and he takes a sack, and it's Sale, and they drop down. It's Sale, so it's a post on the outside. Mm-hmm. It's like a corner from the slot, and it's an in route on the backside. Mm-hmm. And the safety drops down, and D-Butt knows this. The nickel plays man coverage, and he's outside leverage. Quarterbacks, we get taught on Sale. 2 times we immediately get back to the inside. Cover 2, because the play's going to stink front side.
Yep.
Yeah, this one. The safety drops down. That nickel's playing outside leverage and riding the slot receiver vertically on his outside. But get to the backside in. Look at the top. Like right now, you get there. See how that backside in. Once you read the release of that slot receiver, and that nickel defender is playing so hard outside leverage, and that safety's dropping down, dude, that in route is now.
That's DJ Moore back there too.
Yep.
But it's no doubt, and it's like, is he getting taught that? I think he is. I'm assuming he is. So this is another one of those examples where you either can't or you're not trusting what you're seeing. And I think that's kind of going with Justin specifically. I can't speak to whether he can or cannot. I think there's examples that he does see the field.
Hey, why don't they run him more? Why don't they run him more? That feels like such an obvious answer. Why don't they run him more? Like I thought last year, the reason why around draft time when the Bears had the number 1 overall pick, the reason why we were steadfast in the community of Justin Fields could be your guy is because the only highlights we remembered from the entire abysmal Chicago Bears season was Justin Fields running for 60 yards, outrunning DBs and elite running, incredible run. And in this year, it feels like they don't have him. Like, let's add that to the offense. I understand you want to protect somebody, and obviously Anthony Richardson's 2 games, he's been out 2 times, but he's going to have to run. That's a part of what he is as our quarterback. Like, he is a running quarterback. Like, how come they won't just say the best football we're going to get from this guy, which gives him the most opportunity to succeed and get rich playing this game, would be if he ran and threw the ball. Why are they hesitant, you think, to run him? Just because they don't want him to get hurt? But then he might never be great,
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah, it's a little bit of the fear of if he gets hurt. I don't know if is it been kind of communicated to them that don't run him, from the player or his. That's a total aside. I'm making that up. Like I try to think of ways why or reasons why you would not run them. I don't think there's anything that's justifiable. You can be smart with how you run them, and he's got to kind of handle that himself to get down. But it's a mess. The play calling,
so Getsy,
the spacing.
Getsy's the OC now, and Zito literally, while you were talking there, was like, can you please ask him why they called back-to-back screens at the end of the game, put Justin Fields in that terrible situation? I assume the back-to-back
Dude, I don't know
screens
if I've ever seen that.
Okay.
I don't know if I've ever seen that. Did you see the Levante David comments?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm shocked that I've seen screens called back to back that were different forms of screens. But to run that same screen in that same back insert to the same side when there's 2 NFL veterans over there, that makes me freaking nuts because it goes on the quarterback and Justin Fields sucks and he's a pick 6 and you look like a friggin' idiot because you throw an interception on a screen pass, and you sit there and go, that's the best call we have in that moment. That's what we think really makes a ton of sense. And dude, when you're around, I was around guys that were really good at it. I was around Sean and I was around Gary Kubiak, and when you're around guys like that, and then you see contrasting kind of situations, it just makes me so angry.
I think,
that
hey, Dan,
those are the play calls.
Dan, I think that's something that doesn't get talked about a lot. Everybody just assumes if they're in a position to call plays, like, oh, they must be great at this. It's like in every field, there's people that are okay, there's people that are good, and there's people that are great, right? I don't think we pay much respect to the great play callers. We just kind of lump them all together, and we just assume that people get offensive coordinator jobs are going to be good play callers, when it's much more obvious, I think, nowadays than ever, because we hear from players like you who've seen that and break down what it could be, and we see these other great things happening in such a different way. It's like there's just trash play callers out there, right? Like we just need, not that we're saying that about Getz, okay? We don't know how Getz is going to be.
Because I was high on Getsy. What I thought Luke did some really good stuff last year, and again, it's not all on Luke, but
bingo. We're not saying this. We're just talking in general.
Yeah. It's interesting because I think like we're in a spot with football. Like this is the back-to-back screens, and that's the second one. I actually believe it might be the third one because there was a penalty on the actual first down. So
that's wild.
I think, Pat, like there's a difference, and D-Buck can speak to this a little bit from the defensive perspective. There's a difference between like guys who call plays and guys who call games.
Oh.
You know what I'm trying to say is like,
hey, that's a bar there. That's a bar there. That's good.
I think like anybody could call plays. I could take my call sheet. I could call plays, right? I think these guys that are these really good offensive minds that call games, the Mike McDaniel, a Bill O'Brien, a Sean McVay, a Kyle Shanahan, is like they are consistently trying to find different ways to attack what the information that they're getting throughout the game. They're taking that information in and figuring out ways to attack the information, like attack the defenses that you're presenting to them, and not just calling, hey, this was a good 1st and 10 call, 6 weeks ago, so let's fire it up, So
how do they get jobs though? How do those people
you need smart players too who can adjust and evolve their game too, because you only have so much time throughout the week to install game plans, install things. So some coaches are scared to kind of switch it up during the game once they gather that information. Oh, okay, this is kind of, we used to call it like, okay, what's going to be the flavor of the week? Like, what are they doing out of bunches? And some coordinators, will come in, especially with young quarterbacks. Okay, 3rd down bunches, they're running this concept. We know on 3rd and 8, we get that again in the 3rd quarter. We're probably going to get the same thing. But if it's Andy Reid or McVay or Sean Payton, it could be a completely different thing based off what we showed earlier. So that's a different part of it.
It's also
I think
possible,
this too, D, but
I was just going to say, Dan, it's also possible Getsy gets the benefit of the doubt because he was on the offensive staff when the Packers had Rodgers as a quarterback, so that kind of raises all tides. It's like, oh, wow, look at this guy. Rodgers goes out, wins 2 MVPs, and then
Jets OC.
Yeah, I mean, and Hackett as well, kind of the same deal. It's like, hey, you got those two guys' jobs, and then you get to your next spot, and it's like, oh, shit, Rodgers is my quarterback.
A little different now all of a sudden.
It's a lot more difficult.
I still think Luke Getsy's a smart football mind. I do. I'm not ready to say
smart guy.
It's good news.
I think good offensive minds, good offensive coaches can watch the tape the day after the game and relatively quickly be like, oh, I should have done that, or I should have gotten to this quicker, this and that. I think smart or like really good coaches, like halftime, can make some solid adjustments. I think the rare offensive minds, it takes them like 10 plays. It takes them like one drive, and they know exactly the things that they should be getting to kind of counteract or counterpunch what the defense is doing. And I don't know, how many of those guys are walking around. They're rare. They're as rare as the unique kind of talented elite quarterbacks as well.
So let's talk about one of them as we let you go on this glorious allergy field. Aaron Rodgers will be on Friday, actually, Tuesday, September 19th, 2023. Andy Reid, obviously one of the greatest play callers of all time. He has Nagy now as his offense coordinator instead of Bieniemy. We're seeing this Chiefs offense only one time having Travis Kelce on the field out of 2. But in early seasons, the Chiefs have like barely ever covered. It's always close games. And when the lights get the brightest, that's when they turn it on and we see their best football. What do you think about the Chiefs thus far this year? And has Nagy instead of Bieniemy made any difference over there?
Yeah, not a ton of difference. I still think they're kind of running what the Chiefs have been for a couple years. I think the biggest difference with the Chiefs offense right now.
Chiefs page. Smart play. I love what you did.
I think that the biggest difference with the Chiefs offense right now in relation to the past couple years is, number one, there isn't that proven number 2 wide receiver that really, I would sit here and say this right now, it's probably Justin Watson. If we're just going off of tape and the guys who's made the plays on the football, MVS being that number 1 wide receiver. So they're still trying to figure out who that person is going to be, I believe. And then I'd say the second thing, and this is probably the most glaring one, is those 2 tackles are struggling, man. And teams know it. And teams are starting to try to figure out ways to get those tackles in true one-on-one situations and try to expose them a little bit. And I think that defenses are going, because the interior of their offensive line is so great in Kansas City. And I think that's something that Patrick and Matt Nagy and Andy Reid are going to have to try to figure out as the season goes, is how kind of when they get to the heart of the season, what are those tackles going to be?
All right. Well, we appreciate the hell out of you, buddy. Daniel Jones all the way back after that second half. We think so, right?
He was so good at. You know what? I'm going to do it on NFL Live today. I think there's one play in that game that totally flips that game, and hopefully their season. And it was awesome.
They're getting 10.5 on Thursday night against the Niners right now. 10.5. You think they're back?
Was that Saquon?
What was the play, Dan?
Yep.
Yeah, what was the play? Let's do a little teaser. What was it?
You guys got to watch NFL Live.
Of course, which is on at 4 p.m. Eastern on NFL. Yep.
Yeah. It's a play.
Great show.
D-Bud will like it. He'll appreciate it. It's a nerd thing. So.
Yep.
No, we love it.
What are you talking about? Watch every day.
Are you going to be on the iPad on the screen thing? Are you doing that?
Who just said that?
We all did.
Yeah. What do you
mean?
Yeah, the new wooden studio. We were talking about how cool it was yesterday.
Yeah, we were talking about how cool it was.
Who said D-Bud to Hyatt?
I did.
Oh, there you go.
Who's I?
Tone.
Yeah. Well done, bud. But there's another play.
So predictable, Dan.
Yeah. First play of the second half.
So predictable, Dan.
Come on.
It's beautiful. Switch it up. You know what I mean? We need a little something different. But
just do it now. Just do the breakdown.
Here, do it now. Do what you're going to do. See, this play right here is the one.
There's a reason why. There's a reason why that play happens.
And that is?
The setup in the first quarter was something that they needed.
Yep.
And now that they got their rookie, right? Is that what it was? Yep, we just did it.
Yeah.
We just did it. Okay, shut up. We don't have to watch NFL Live now. Perfect. We were going to watch.
Bummer.
But now we don't have to. So in the first quarter.
I think you guys should still watch.
All right. We'll record it so you get our number.
Yeah. Okay.
That'd be cool.
Does that count?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, we'll set the red button on it. We appreciate you. It's great TV. Your crew is awesome. And we appreciate you taking time, knowing that you're incredibly tired from your trip back from Carolina last night. Open your eyes, Dan. You're living a good life. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dano. You look great, bub. You see him when he was in there?
Oh, yeah.
He was back in the...
He was on the field.
He was in his bag today.
That sail. He had that sail.
It was wide open.
That was good.
It certainly was.
Good Dino appearance.
Dano was dialed in.
Yeah.
Had his high eyes.
Yeah.
I like the notebooks.
Yeah. Who'd you ask about, Chiefs? Page 4.
Hold on.
Yeah, I think they're running. Yeah, see, I do think this. Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote it down earlier.
It's his notes. That guy has to just, what's his life right now? You know what I mean?
Just love and ball.
He has to have a take on everything.
Yep.
Or his entire gimmick is dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? His gimmick
He
is
covers the most important position in sports.
in the most important league
Yeah.
on the most important sports network.
Yeah.
And he is the guru for it. So he has to have a take on something.
Oh, yeah.
And if he doesn't, he's going to get cooked. By who? Us.
Yep.
Everybody on the internet.
Yeah.
Everybody, that's his life. He signs up for it. And it's like, yeah, you called Monday Night Football last night? Yeah. All right, sweet. We need you in the studio tomorrow morning. Then you're on McAfee in the middle of the day.
Yep.
Then you're going to NFL Live. We need some good stuff on NFL Live.
Has to be different.
And then you need to watch the film from every game again on Tuesday night, and then you're back here on Wednesday. We appreciate Dan Orlovsky. That guy's the little engine that can.
Absolutely.
And that could. But damn, I bet you there's some days where he wishes he wasn't. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah. Absolutely.
For sure. When you're going 8 for 10.
I doubt it. He loves it.
He does. He was going to be a coach there for a second.
Yeah.
Remember, every offseason.
Eagles.
Is he going to be Eagles, Carolina? I think there's some other places that maybe chat with him. Maybe Indy at some point chatted with him. I mean, there's a lot of conversation about Dano going and being OC. And then every time he talks, fans are like, Yeah, he should be.
This guy should be.
do
calling
like
plays.
this guy.
Because he's talking about what offense coordinators are doing now, and he says some things that don't make any sense to me. It's like, why wouldn't offense coordinators change at halftime if they're presenting something that is unstoppable? Why wouldn't you adjust? And then we got to remember that just like every other field or profession or craft, these are humans.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes humans feel pressure and act differently. Sometimes whenever the lights come on, people aren't as good as maybe they were in an interview or in a meeting room or something like that. That takes place. Refs, what? Was that like a 22-minute review?
Absurd.
Are we serious with that? I thought that was a joke.
Brutal.
I thought I was watching a skit show.
Yes.
What are they doing?
All I know is I went to bed at 12:30 because of it.
Dude,
okay?
that's a whole nother animal. It was 10:15 at halftime.
Yeah, can't have it.
That's bad.
We're olds yelling into a microphone right now.
Yep.
And I literally thought that this is another real thing.
This was the punch out, right? The punch out that was a first down that then got moved back.
To a fumble recovery by 99.
Yep.
And it's going the other way. And
Yeah.
I appreciate them doing that and getting it right, seemingly. But there has to be a quicker, more efficient way to get that done. That was a 7 to 10 minute review.
Brutal.
Can't have it. They don't even have it sponsored. They have the field goal post or the chains, the first down chain sponsored everywhere. Yeah. They don't even have these reviews sponsored. If you're gonna have it be 8 minutes, at least give us some song and dance.
Yeah.
Right? Joe Buck and Troy were sitting there like, we're still doing this? That's actually what Joe said.
That was rough.
Are we still doing? How's that happen?
No clue, especially, prime time TV. We don't want to see it. We kind of talked about it yesterday on the show, but we cannot see. That was horrible.
That ref crew there, I don't think did any favors with the football community.
They don't have much pizzazz on that crew.
Not a lot of pizzazz. And anytime your reviews are that long, reviews are the things that everybody hates the most. So whenever you're adding that to 5x the amount of time of other reviews.
Yes.
Like if that thing was 1/5 the amount of time, we would have said long review. Instead, it just kept going and go. They did a commercial break, I think,
they did.
and came back and they were still in review. That's unbelievable.
But ref crews with pizzazz, the guy that told Gino, hey, I'm talking to America right now, pal. Keep it moving.
Yeah, he's number one on the ref rankings in my eyes. Just strictly because in the moment, solo shot became a duet.
Yeah.
And he said, get the hell out of my shine. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think these refs do need to have a certain amount of moxie.
Yeah.
You go back to who's great. Gene Steratore great.
That's right.
Probably the greatest of all
best.
time.
Yeah.
You know what he had? Moxie.
That's right.
He brought out a damn index card to say, that ain't a first down, sorry about it. Then every time he talked, it was clear, it was precise, he explained the situation. How about Hockey Lee? Everybody loved Hockey Lee. Well, you know why? Hockey Lee had a lot of pizzazz.
Yes, he
Hockey
did.
Lee was not scared to put that thing on you and let you know why that thing was going away. Clete Blakeman is good. He's got pizzazz.
Yep.
Some of these refs that don't have pizzazz need to get the hell out because they were speaking for the sport on an ISO shot to 15, 20, 30 million people, and some of them freeze up. We need not have that.
No.
And also, these reviews, let's put a shot clock on these things.
Yeah.
Can't have that.
Can't have
Now.
games ending at 12:30. Just can't do it.
Get it right quicker. You're the NFL for...
Pete's sake.
Boom.
Didn't want to say it to Jesus. We're going to Notre Dame on Friday.
That's right.
All right, we'll be back on the other side with AJ Hawk. The General Bob Carpenter gives us his new top 5. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. See you in 3. He's the new head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. Obviously, one of the magic minds behind the Philadelphia Eagles' incredible run and offense last year, Coach Shane Steichen. Coach, how are you, pal?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Now that you're getting a chance to kind of shape a team for the first time in your complete vision, is there a way you're asking questions of people? Is there something you're looking for a player?
I mean, I just want guys that love ball, guys that are just football guys. I mean, those guys that are really love the game of football, those are the guys that have a lot of success in this league. And high character guys, the guys that I've been around, been fortunate enough to been around. One, they're really talented players, but really good people and do it the right way. Those guys that stick around for 10 plus years, they all kind of have that trait in common. If we can find that as coaches and as scouts and get those guys in our building, I think you got a chance to have a really good team.
You love ball, normally do more work because you're enjoying it. If you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. Well, that also accounts for like extra reps, extra jugs machine, extra recovery, extra rehab. It's like that one thing helps out so much other shit if they love the game.
Yeah, there's no question. I will say that's one of the questions I do ask all these players. I want to know their weekly process. I want to know these college guys, their Sunday, they play on a Saturday. I want to know their Sunday through Friday Friday, what they do to prepare to get ready. From every detail, when they come in the building, when they leave, how they watch tape, how they break it down, when they work out.
You can tell from that answer, I think, quickly, right, whether or not they love what they're doing.
Some guys are a little more detailed than others. Is it the end-all, be-all to what I think about a guy? No, I think it plays a part into how much they love football.
Guys that play a long time all watch film. That's what I've learned.
When I got hired, guys heard me say this. My philosophy is, we're going to throw to score points and run to win. That's part of it. But again, the flow of the game is going to dictate that. You could still be explosive running the football. You can create those explosive plays. The flow of the game will dictate how the game is called and how we're playing.
Throw to score points, run to win. You got bars, bro. What has it been like knowing that this is your first year going into a draft? And there's a lot that is kind of on the line at the most crucial position on the entire team.
Yeah, I think we've had a lot of conversations. They're still ongoing. We're 6 days away from this thing, and people always ask, like, who you guys taking? Well, we'll find out when the draft comes. There's going to be a lot of moving parts that happen in that draft, but we're just trying to find the best players that are going to give us the best chance to win. That's it. People say, what type of quarterback you want? I want the guy that's going to give us the best chance to win.
How do you find that out? Is it workouts? Is it questions? What about this S2 thing? Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it. I've heard a lot about different tests, different things. We take everything into account, not tests, but obviously who the person is, what he's like, personality, his traits, how he is around the building with his players, and obviously the tape speaks for itself, on a lot of these guys, and a lot of these guys have talent that they can play really good football, so it'll be interesting come Thursday.
Let's go.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this, Aaron Rodgers will actually be on Friday, Tuesday, September 19th, 2023. Hour 2 of this program starts now. Football! A lot of words there, got them all in. It's an incredible time to be a football fan. College football season is immaculate. And the NFL has wrapped up its week 2 last evening with 2 Monday Night Football games that we'll continue to chat about. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. 9-year NFL vet looking super cool with a backwards hat. Darius J. Butler is here. Great to see you, D-Butch. All the boys in the back are fantastic at what they do. And Gumpy looks so cool today. I don't know if anybody's seen this. Just a couple months ago, that man was deported with a 10-year ban out of the United States of America. How could we not want that man in our country? Look at one half of the Hammer. Dahn. Cowboys Gumpy rocking it, Gump.
Hell yeah. Great to be here, boys. Great to be here.
Well, you and Tone Diggs just going to the same hat shops. What do you got cooking over there?
Tony's got me with the cowboy. This is more of an Amish hat, I believe.
Nah, Zach Brown wears that. A lot of cool people wear that. Joining us now is a super cool guy who could never fit in one of those hats because his cranium is the largest in the Midwest.
That's right.
So he's a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup winner, COVID survivor, father of 10, current president of the state of Ohio.
Whoa.
Ladies and gentlemen, a man who they said on the ESPYs drinks his own urine. Yeah. AJ Hawk. He said it. He said it on the ESPYs.
Yeah, who would they be? Who would they be?
They, the people that ruined this program.
That's right.
The powers that be. You know what I mean?
Yes. Wrote it.
Whoever wrote that during the writer's strike, and put it in the teleprompter, they said that you drank your own urine. We're thankful you did that.
Yeah.
You became the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers doing that, AJ.
Hell yeah.
Yep, the sacrifices you make, I guess. I'm okay with it.
Speaking of sacrifices being made, last night, what happened to Nick Chubb is a part of football, I guess that can happen in football. But anytime one of those injuries happens and an entire stadium goes, ooh, an away stadium, especially a city like Pittsburgh that is taught to hate Cleveland. So one of the Browns having happened to them, it is never good. Kind of puts things back in perspective, I think, for everybody about what football can happen. What are your thoughts on the Nick Chubb injury and how do the Browns go forward without him? What a damn shame. The NFL's losing a great one, not just a good one, a great player in devastating fashion last night, AJ.
I mean, it's brutal to see that, and of course, I'm glad they didn't replay it on the TV copy. But yes, it's online, it's everywhere. It reminded me, I was a freshman in a game when when this happened to him, and his knee just tore everything. And I remember being in the stadium, and it happened, and they never showed the replay. We didn't really know what was going on, and afterwards, guys were like, "Man, we got some text like this." Everyone said this is brutal. It's a nasty injury. We didn't know at the time. Nick Chubb, obviously, I think everyone pretty much knew right away.
So when the tackle happened from the TV copy, didn't really know.
No.
Kind of just looked like, he did get flipped and stood up and everything like that. Then whenever they choose not to show the replay, but while they're telling you we're not going to show you the replay, you hear Pittsburgh watch the replay, and then obviously the internet's going to have that forced in your timeline immediately. I saw that guy's knee bend the wrong way 1,000 times.
Yep.
Yes.
And every time I got sick, I got disgusted. I tried to block every account that was posting it because it's not something we want to see. But that type of injury, they're talking about season ending, obviously. Nick Chubb's a dog.
Yes.
He's an incredible athlete, phenomenal athlete, track star back in the day. Bigger than, remember his high school track videos we were seeing. He looked like he was 13 to 14 years older than everybody he was running against because how jacked he was. And he's just pulling away from all these people. Absolute stud. Yeah. But whenever you see something like that, to even fathom that he's going to be able to come back is just crazy in modern science.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen him come back before. He had a gross injury like that in college. But like you said, dog in the weight room, and a lot of times those guys in the weight room, it doesn't translate to the field. But he's one of those unique guys that it does. And another guy that had to go to the hospital last night, Minka Fitzpatrick, who laid the hit on him. A lot of people were kind of calling for his, it's a dirty play, it's this and that. Like you said, it's a part of what happens in football. I think he was just playing hard, going for the hit. You're trying to, impose some punishment on a running back when you're hitting them. That's a part of your job. And unfortunately, it happened.
People were mad at Minka.
Yeah,
I did see that on the internet. There's people talking about that, AJ. Did you see that reaction on the X last night?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got multiple texts from different people just asking, my thoughts on it. And I just have a hard time thinking that a guy like Minka, who's a vet, made tons of plays in this league, would try to do. I don't think anyone's intentionally trying to blow someone's knee completely out like that. I can't believe it.
Agreed. And knees, and obviously whenever they changed the strike zone, right? Because guys used to hit high over the middle or hit high in any shots if they could. They were flying in there. Then they say you can no longer hit anybody in the head. There's a strike zone. You got to go here. So then all defenders were like, well, now we're going to be taking.
Yes.
Now we got to hit legs and knees pretty much. And you heard a lot of offensive weapons be like, I would rather them hit me right in the head than hit me in the knee just because of how it is. But with the way the rules have gone, hitting lower is almost being like promoted as opposed to saving the brain injuries going forward. So it's like the people that were calling for Minka, I completely understand because the way the video looked and everything, that's a natural reaction, an emotional reaction. But there's no way Minka Fitzpatrick is thinking to himself, I'm going to try to take Nick Chubb actually out. That's not real. I don't think that's real. Now,
nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but I don't think it. There's a weird thing with the NFL. I think people that they might not know, and you don't know until you get in there. Guys that actually care about each other. You hate them, and you're going to fight with them during the game, and you're going to go back and forth. But nobody wants to see that. It's not like you're in middle school and guys are stupid and kill them all. You want to win the game and do whatever it takes, but it is like a big fraternity. I think guys do kind of take care of each other.
Cheap shot artists aren't going to last long in the NFL. Okay, that's just how it is. Probably not going to be smart enough to make it in the NFL. If you're a cheap shot guy, there's probably a couple other things that are wrong in the way you think, so you're probably not going to be able to hang at an NFL level for long enough. But also, you'll get kind of forced out. Minka has never ever had that type of trait. So immediately putting that on him, I think is crazy. I assume Minka felt very terrible as he was watching the video. Then he got another shot to the head. And then he got a sternum injury. I mean, Minka, he ended up in the hospital last night because that's what football is possible. He had nowhere near as devastating as Nick Chubb's knee. I'm not saying that. But Minka had some bruise last night.
Yeah, well, he came off the sideline and it looked like he was couldn't breathe and coughing up, but he went to the hospital. I got a lot of those tweets about him being dirty last night and stuff like that. But I've watched Minka try to go high on Nick Chubb before, and it didn't go well for him. And anyone who was saying that was dirty, Nick Chubb's coming at you. Where are you gonna go? You're gonna try to hit
me?
anyone.
Yeah, just in
I'm
general.
hamstring cramp.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Down to an ass like Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Smart.
He's a bowling ball.
Boom. Exactly. I know Sam Martin should have done
Yeah.
what I did.
Bingo.
You know what I mean? Instead, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get in here, and then what did I sign up for? Oh no! All
Patty
right,
cake.
let me get the hell out of the way." Almost like propelling himself out of the situation, which is really incredibly athletic. Nobody really talked about it. I've not heard from Sam Martin since then. I hope he's doing okay.
Well, working on
Hope he's doing
tackling.
good. But you see Chubb coming through. He runs so hard.
Yes.
So hard, dude. And then your knee has to, foot has to be on ground at exact time, too. Like timing it, I don't know. It's just tough to put that on a guy and say that he was trying to hurt somebody because I'm sure he feels terrible enough. Not as bad as Chubb, obviously. We're not saying that it is bad as Chubb, but we're saying let's not just start labeling people cheap shot artists and people that are taking people out because I don't think that's accurate. With that being said, this Colorado State kid.
Yeah.
Buddy, you see this? They got police involved because there's death threats happening to him and everything like that. Travis Hunter came out and was like, it's just football. Hey, he's just making a football play. We all saw what he did on that hit. Okay? He goes around his guy. Ball clearly out, goes around his guy, and certainly lays a shot. Now, if he was on your football team, I think everybody would say, okay, a little dirty, but, their best guy, Travis Hunter, he hit him. Now, he lacerates his liver, I do believe, which is on his right side, out 3 weeks. And then at the end, he gets shaken out of his shoes for a touchdown. Death threats interesting. People are asking for him to be expelled from Colorado.
Over him a little bit. Don't you think part of it's how he stood over him a little bit?
Yeah,
That's part of it,
flexing
too.
on him. It clearly late.
Clearly, yes, very late. Definitely late. But yeah, if this was on your team, I would assume, we get the penalty, but he probably shouldn't be thrown out of the game, is what probably you would say if he's on your team.
Yeah, but I'm thinking target.
Oh, if he's not on my team, I'm freaking out. Saying this guy, get him
the hell out of here. Yeah, for
get
sure.
out of here.
There's people saying he needs to be expelled, kicked out of the entire thing, and I assume there's people telling him that he needs, to potentially pass away because of that whole thing. That's why cops are getting involved. I would like to say I'm one of the largest Team Colorado guys of all time. I appreciate and respect Travis Hunter's answer where he said, hey, this is just football. Guy certainly should have been ejaculated. I believe is how a couple people phrased it and worded it on X. They said, need to ejaculate this guy.
Yeah.
Somebody very serious was saying, instead of ejected, they were saying ejaculate.
Get him out of here.
Were they serious?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're so bad.
Autocorrect.
So bad they're autocorrect. I don't know what he's been typing.
Bingo, yeah. Why does it go to ejaculate?
I don't know why his smartphone is like, we know where you're at, homie.
Yeah.
As soon as he gets the EJ, we got it. We know where we're headed. Straight to Ejaculation City. Y'all doing too much now, bro. Terrible play call. You should have been ejaculated. As soon as I seen that hit, I would ejaculate him. But to say he's banned for competing in college football area is crazy, dog. Y'all acting soft. It's like, we agree with
Yeah. Some of that.
Now, as a journalism show,
Sure.
we will say we do not believe he meant ejaculated.
I don't
think so.
We
either.
think it
Twice, though. I mean, he used it twice. I don't know.
Unless
Well,
they
that's his phone. He needed to get it off.
Unless
His
they-
phone was like, I got you.
Yeah, he did. We know that.
Maybe he maybe wanted to use like sandpaper.
See, that's your problem. That's your problem. You just couldn't wait to hear me say that guy wanted to get his ex off. You know what I'm saying? That's all he wanted to do. Post an ex.
I'm not sure what happened. I don't know. What are you talking about?
Well, you were talking about ejaculation.
Yeah,
exactly.
This guy's talking about ejected. We have to
Wouldn't
back.
you have the little red squiggly lines if you're trying to post that before you go out there? Wouldn't your autocorrect do that?
No, ejaculate is spelled correctly.
Oh, yeah.
That is correct spelling of
I'm going to
ejaculate.
do context of where it is, I guess.
It's a blue squiggly line.
And in his brain, there's an EJ, there's a C, there's a T, E,
Right.
D.
Yeah. It's all in there.
His brain just saw it, and his phone was like, "We know, boom, we know what you are talking about, sir, Sir German Justy. What was his name?
Yeah,
think so. It's Justy.
Yeah, German Justy.
People were mad at that kid, though. I mean, German Justy Jackson.
I get it. It's kind of how he flexed on him afterwards, too. Doesn't help at all.
Yeah, and also with the coach, the way the coach was talking. and
That whole
those-
game both ways was very, very chippy.
Little chip.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like, just as an analyst of the sport, I don't like that Shador's the guy that's got to go fight him.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I didn't appreciate because that's on Colorado's sideline right there.
Yeah, 'cause-
So that guy hits him late, goes around his guy, hits him late, flexes on him, right? The discipline of the sideline, I respect. No penalties. Yeah, we're going to do that. But nobody until Shador sprints down the field in his face. I like the fact that your best players are your biggest dogs. That's good news. But also, like,
Yeah.
somebody right? I mean, Shador, the Heisman has to be the guy.
Linemen up there a little quicker, and that's one of the position groups. Coach Prime said, "Hey, need some more dogs in here." So I'm sure they probably talked about it. Like Tone said, that game was chippy even before kickoff, and obviously with the comments with Colorado State's coach, who they played a hell of a game too.
Hell of a game.
He had his guys probably all jacked up before the game, but that hit. Once again, it's part of football. Was it dirty? Was it late? Yes. But it was a chippy game. You expect, especially when it's Travis Hunter, a guy that important to the team. Just like we go into certain games. Hey, this quarterback, we want to touch this quarterback every play. This running back, this receiver, we want to touch him. So I get it. I don't think anything should have been more done.
I don't want to throw myself into the story, but this show is named after me, and I do a lot of the talking on this show. There was one team where their special teams coach actually had them every kickoff. I had somebody come hit me. And it was like, why are you doing this? Why are you blocking? There's other people to block right here. They're like, oh, yeah, today we were told like to get some hands on you. And I was like, these assholes are trying me right now? What do you think? I'm going to get scared out here? And then I hit a punt, and I'm jogging on the field. Guy right on my left side just hitting me. I'm like, man, I'm going to have to do well here today. Because if I don't do well here today, guess what's coming?
Yeah.
Every single game, I'm going to have somebody on me. It's like Travis Hunter knows that there's going to be, I assume he knows.
Oh, yeah.
He's been taught that, okay, you're the guy on the team. There's going to be some teams that are going to choose to take a little bit more mental warfare with you. What's the mental warfare? A couple extra shots. While you're down, people are going to get up off of you. Like just little things within the game. Now, that was definitely a cheap shot. We are not saying
for sure
that was not a cheap shot. But like that has been in football for a long time. It sucks where the hit happened, the injury that took place, because that could be lethal. I looked it up. I didn't know what a liver laceration was. I was like, damn, how's that happen? Underneath the right ribs, I guess, is where the liver is, because in boxing, that's where you're trying to
liver shots.
But it can go from like moderate severity to like lethal severity. So I don't know what the liver does, but I guess if it's lacerated, could be a problem inside the body.
Yeah, big one.
Happy he's okay. Did his podcast already.
Yes,
Speaking of his podcast, Micah Parsons has one. He'll be joining us in 15 minutes. Was supposed to join us in an hour and 15 minutes. Got home early. He had a full conversation about protecting each other in the NFL and who's trying to hurt people and what it's like and all that stuff. So I can't wait to chat with him. Greatest defense on earth right now, Dallas Cowboys. AJ.
They're humming, aren't they? I mean, it doesn't look like they're going to slow down anytime soon. So every offense that's over the next 4 games they have, I'm sure they're studying, trying to figure out what you can possibly do. But I don't really know right now with how they're getting after the quarterback. It's really tough.
Yeah, will they be able to do this for 17 games? Cannot wait to chat with Micah about that, just as their energy. And I mean, him hovering across the ground while he's crawling.
Yeah.
He goes like 10 yards real quick. Like, let the aliens see that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sure. Let the aliens see that. I wish one of those little things would drop down, have a bird's eye view, see Micah come around the edge, tackle him, and then on all fours, they should say, you should see they get on all fours. I think these humans things, these Homo sapiens, I don't know what they got going on, but they can move and then up out of there.
Bye-bye.
We need to come back with a little different attitude next time. That's what we need to show the aliens, because we got a couple of them, and Micah is certainly one of those.
Yeah, I assume Jerry Jones has had 1 or 2 in his suite to watch a game.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean,
Who do you have up there? You had the FIFA president?
Ooh.
Is that who it was?
Yeah, he was there.
That guy's a crook, right?
Way
the old one.
Sepp Blatter?
Sepp Blatter.
Way ahead of the world, he said. 2026, the final is supposed to be at AT&T Stadium.
Oh, so Jerry's working right now.
Smart.
He's just, you know what I mean?
Good
Always.
business, man.
That feels like the smart move, because if you're watching these documentaries, how does FIFA make their decisions? Oh, you just got to get in the pockets of the president.
Yeah, bribe him.
I watched a whole documentary about it.
Smart.
Literally. Now, I don't know about this new guy. He's living in the old guy's shadow of corruption, but I assume soccer will be soccer.
Just as bad.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Of course.
Allegedly. We don't know. We don't know the whole thing.
If that's the case, can we just pay for one then?
So that's what Jerry's doing.
Yeah,
That's literally what Jerry just did.
Yeah.
Good.
That's literally what
Give us the soccer Lombardi.
Yeah, but how come? Oh, just the whole
Just
tournament?
to win, yeah. Hey,
We're
can
gonna
we
win
give
that
you
third
10
spot.
billion and USA's the champion, and we get a star above our little patch name thing?
We don't want to get into giving out billions for trophies thing, because there's some crews over there in the Middle East.
Yeah.
They'll just win every tournament
more
going
billions.
forward.
Yeah,
But yeah,
true.
but they killed so many people building those stadiums that at this point they can't go back.
That was in Qatar,
Yeah, he's talking about
the
Saudi
last
Arabia.
World Cup. I'm talking about Saudi Arabia, just saying, oh, yeah, we win
We'll buy
soccer
it.
Lombardi. We also got the Stanley Cup as well.
Yeah.
Sorry about it, Vegas. And shout out to the actual Lombardi, too. We don't have a team, but we won it. We can't do that.
They are
We
good
can't
at
corrupt
hockey.
that. What's that, pal?
Saudis are good at hockey.
Well, they're building a.
Are they?
They're building a ski resort.
They are.
over there.
Yeah.
In the middle of the desert.
Yeah,
You
big
bet.
hockey country. Yeah,
We should wheel them out against us then.
You know the hockey. You love hockey.
Canada, U.S.,
Hockey
Saudi
town down there
Arabia.
in South Florida, baby.
How
Florida.
about F1? You getting into that sport?
Hey,
That sports
Pat,
sucks.
we had a hell of a
Talk.
race this past weekend, all right?
hell of a
We got
run.
Singapore
Verstappen won.
Grand Prix.
Sound like a broken
Carlos
record.
Sainz, and I called it on Thursday. Carlos Sainz Ferrari won the race.
Whoa.
Got pole position. Max Verstappen came in P5, so they broke that Red Bull win streak of, I think, 15 races in a row they had won.
F1 stinks
Up to
more
this
than the
point.
Bears, dude.
Whoa.
Jesus.
That's
You know,
a
Bears
stretch.
fans.
That's a
Saying
stretch,
something.
Z.
All right, let's talk about some things happening around the NFL before we're joined by Mark Parsons. CJ GJ, new addition to the Detroit Lions, helping make the old Lions into the brand
New
Lions. Seemingly a guy that would fit perfectly into that culture, into that environment that MCDC has created and had success with up there. They go into last game because CJ GJ says that they're the villains. Now, none of us outside of the locker room felt like they were villains, but MCDC and the boys were pitching the narrative that since they beat the Kansas City Chiefs on opening night, hey, we're the bad guys. Everybody wear your ski masks.
Hell yeah.
Okay, because we're the villains in there. CJ GJ seemingly loved by Detroit very, very quickly.
Yes, definitely.
Then he had a penalty, obviously, down the red zone. That's going to happen, though, with the way he plays. He's a dog. Everybody appreciates that. Now he tore a pec. He is out indefinitely. I mean, this is a massive shot to the Detroit Lions defense, energy, and culture. Although he just got there, feels like this is a big loss for you guys.
Yeah,
folks.
no, this is huge because this was supposed to be the year. Everything lined up perfectly. Aaron Rodgers out of the division. This is the Lions' year to finally make the playoffs, win a playoff game for the first time in my lifetime. The only thing.
How old are you?
29.
Jeez.
29 years old.
Yikes.
Never seen a playoff win. And the only thing that can hold that back.
Loser.
Come on.
Jeez.
Yikes.
Wow.
Well, and that's what everyone's saying is, the Lions are cursed because injuries are starting to stack up, and that's the only thing that could hold them back from making the playoffs.
Welcome to the
It
NFL.
feels like,
And
I
Detroit,
know.
the longest
And
streak in the
so-
NFL.
Is that the longest?
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
It was the Browns. I think it might have been the Bengals before that, and now it's the Lions.
CJ GJ out, D-Butt, obviously secondary is your thing. Not only does he bring it with the math and the culture, he also brings it on the field, right? Guy's a stud.
Oh yeah, big time player. Versatile. We'll get his hands on the ball. But they drafted well. Brian Branch still back there. Cam Sutton came over. He's playing well. Kirby Joseph had a good year last year. He's playing well again. So they still have other people. Emmanuel Mosley will get healthy and get back out there at the corner position at some point. They still got a lot of pieces, a lot of dogs on their defense, and potentially he can come back for a playoff run. If he has that surgery and is healthy.
Hutchinson's leading the league in pressures to start the year.
And baby Hutch, big time player.
Hutch is awesome. What's interesting, I believe he went out for a little bit, but came back, which is pretty surprising to see that he's out for the year now.
Who, CJ GJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume that they probably just gave him some.
Yeah, that's what I
Or
assume.
maybe he kind of partially tore it and completely tore. I've known guys who have played with torn pecs, and
Hold
obviously
on.
it's different levels, but some guys play through that shit.
Didn't you have a torn pec?
Yeah, I tore my pec first preseason game, maybe my third or fourth year.
Okay, so how'd that go? What was the recovery? What was the whole operation?
I didn't get surgery, and I rehabbed. I came back for the first regular season game. I missed the preseason and wore this big old brace where you couldn't lift your arm. It sucked balls. It's terrible.
Did you play the whole season?
Yeah.
Linebacker.
So you're saying there's a chance, AJ?
Yeah, I ended up actually one of the only times I ever pulled anything. I pulled my groin later that year in Tampa at a hot game, and I think once you're already moving weird because you're wearing a gigantic brace that doesn't let you pump your arms. I think everything kind of gets thrown off a little bit, so it's tough to manage other things as well.
When did you get the surgery to fix your pec?
I didn't get surgery. Well, once mine was not a surgery thing. It wasn't an option for me.
So you did. So there's different torn what?
Yeah, there's different ways too. I mean, they could have technically done it right then, but I've been out for the year. So it was. Luckily for me, how it was torn, it was an option to where rehab and come back that year.
Okay, yeah. And Green Bay Packers training staff very conservative, right? Didn't know
Oh yeah, I had to get the doctors and GM in a room and fight them basically to get on the field for the first game. That's
hell yeah.
Did you Did you play on turf with that injury or only grass or what was?
I did play on turf a few times that year with that. Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay, so we haven't talked about Bakhtiari. What are your thoughts on him? You're friends with Bach, obviously, and we thought Bach was Bach.
Yeah.
Well,
Guess who's Bach?
Bach
again. Bach is Bach. tell a friend. That's what we thought. We're like, look who's Bach. Bach Diarra, back to being a dominant football player as well. Then week 2, not on the injury report, at Atlanta. Obviously, Jordan Love, his first year being a starter, going to need his biggest piece out there. And then, boom, out of nowhere, tweet comes. Bakhtiari's not playing today. Is it because of turf, they even said in there? Because he's not that wouldn't be the case, right? What do we – and then Schefter came on and said it doesn't feel right. You're friends with Bach. Do you know anything about what's going on with Bach and Bach being Bach?
I don't. I was definitely surprised, like everybody else, that he was not in the lineup, but I have not reached out to ask him exactly what happened. I didn't really want to know because I didn't want to have to sit here and try to deny it or jump around it if he did tell me exactly what was going on.
Smart. I try to do the same thing with a lot of people who potentially have information that the world would want to hear. I just choose not to hear about it because this thing goes to this thing without any things in the middle. People hear that on a very regular basis on this particular program. I let it out. But what is it? I feel like we talked to him last year where he said something didn't connect and then he went on his honeymoon to Egypt. He walked up to the pyramid, the dunes, and then he found out his knee was still hurt, so he had to get another surgery. And then last year was like give or take. This is like 2 years now where it's like it doesn't feel right, but he feels right. I've never experienced anything like he's so good at football. The Packers are so much better when he's on the field versus when he's not on the field. Will he ever be healthy enough to just play on a regular basis again? I wonder. I guess that's the question we have to ask now, AJ.
That is the question. I'm sure that's the question he's asking himself too. Like, am I ever going to be able to make it through a 17-game regular season right now with wherever his knee is at? But what's weird is you see all this stuff online. You see their first game in the regular season, you see him flicking off the fans or flicking off somebody on the sidelines from his stance, like he's having fun, he's celebrating with the squad, and then he's not in the lineup the next week. So I don't know when he tweaked it or whatever he did.
He was in the stance, flipping people off?
Yeah.
Sweet stance.
Oh, yeah.
End zone, he's laying down, taunting the fans in Chicago.
Loving ball.
It was awesome.
he was.
Yeah.
Loving ball.
He was.
And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Bach is out. He's not Bach. What? I mean, as the Green Bay Packer fan, that has to be incredibly confusing as we go.
Confusing, and I'm kind of just sick of it, to be honest with you.
Whoa!
Like,
Bach is friend of the program.
He's great. Sure. I'm not. I mean, it's nothing against him, but it's one of those things where, like LaFleur said that, there was like a little bit of swelling, but it is to the point now where he's one of the best tackles in football when he is okay and ready to play. You need him with Jordan Love and like an offense that's kind of still figuring things out, and it's just tough when you go through like a week of preparation and I mean you don't know if the guy's going to play on Sunday or not. Like I don't know how sustainable that is, and then you factor in how much they're paying him too. Like need him out there. Can't at this point it's like it's tough to say like, hey, just do your thing when you're ready to go. That's good enough for us. You can play, but like you just can't have him play 7 games a year and then like. I mean, it goes back to, when he first got hurt, he did the Bach is Bach thing, played week 17 against the Lions, and then tweaks it or something and doesn't play in the first round of the playoffs against the Niners.
Played well against the Lions, too, you remember?
Oh, yeah.
He was moving folks.
He's unbelievable.
He is so good at moving humans.
That's so frustrating.
So good at moving humans.
Is like it's like you watch the Bears game and it's like, oh, okay, he's back. Like he looks great. He looks unbelievable. He looks as good as he has. And then all of a sudden on Friday or Saturday, it's like, well, he's actually not going to play against the Falcons. So maybe there is like a little lingering stuff there. But like you said, it's been several years now. So either something's still wrong with his knee or like he's mentally really going through it still.
What's going on, Darius? You have
No, that's just tough. Like, I mean, and injuries are always different. We don't know what's going on with his particular body. Like AJ, he had the torn pec. GJ has a torn pec. He could play through it. He has to have surgery, so it could be a different rip. Something else may have got gone. Did it heal right? The cartilage, who knows what it is. Chase Young, he's been dealing with an issue for, a couple years now, it seems. So, I mean, you said, when you see him out there, especially at that position, that's a premium position. That's kind of one of the cornerstones you build your offense around. So you would definitely want to see him Bach.
Jordan would love Bach being Bach full time, and we hope that takes place. Although the last couple of years have told us that this is probably just going to be how the year goes, where some weeks he's up, he's going to be dominant. Some weeks he's down. You're just going to have to hope the games that matter the most, Bach is Bach. Now let's talk about the NFC. This is the first time ever that 7 teams in the same conference have started the season 2-0. And it's not the AFC that we said was, loaded. The Packers are in the NFC. They're not one of the teams that are 2-0. There's a lot of teams over there now all of a sudden that we think could maybe make a Super Bowl run. We all assumed it was going to be the Eagles and the Niners, and they are obviously 2-0. But the Cowboys seemingly the most dominant team in the NFL right now. How about the Commanders having it figured out? Wow, they're fixing the poop pipes in their stadiums under new ownership of Josh Harrison, Magic Johnson. The Saints, Derek Carr getting their second win last night, 2-0. Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. How about the Falcons and Artie Smith? Bijan Robinson coming in and doing absolute record-breaking numbers quickly. First time ever, 7 teams in the same conference have started 2-0 in the same season. AJ, if this stat was presented to us before the season and said, hey, 7 teams in the same conference will start 2-0, which conference is it going to be? Every human on earth, even the people on this team, on these teams, would have said the AFC. Instead, the NFC might be a lot deeper than we ever thought, and now they're breaking records, AJ.
Yeah, the Bucks Falcons. Could you have guessed that they would have got out to this hot of a start?
No, sir. How about the Commanders?
Yeah.
No, sir.
Commanders as well. Yeah, Bieniemy had to come from behind victories. Yeah, like the Commanders and Bieniemy, first time as the offensive coordinator calling the plays there. Pretty impressive. But who do you have faith in, all those teams, that's going to continue this run?
I think it's the first 3 still. Yep. You know what I mean? And obviously the last 4 there are going to hold us accountable for this if they go on and not do it. But, I think the Cowboys have added themselves into the 49ers and Eagles are going to be the NFC representative for the Super Bowl conversation. Because before the season, it was like Niners got to go and get it. If they're incredibly unlucky last season in the NFC Championship, they probably go on and do well against that Chiefs team with how good their defense is. Then the Eagles, it's like, well, they're going to make it back to the Super Bowl. They just paid Jalen. Jalen has it figured out. Sirianni's taking over the controls again. They're going to go. Now it's almost like, hey, Big Mike McCarthy's calling these plays. I think they're going to be a much smarter team. I think they're going to manage games better on the offensive side, although we haven't seen Mike McCarthy in a time management situation yet.
True.
And that is one of his Achilles heels.
Yeah,
It's kryptonite.
That is one of the biggest ones because he's so much in a game, you see. He's so much in there, he doesn't even think about all the other stuff. He has called a timeout when timeout shouldn't be called. He has let things roll whenever we should stop them. He has made decisions throughout his career that have not been fantastic in the clock management department. But whatever you're talking about, calling the offense and getting the boys ready, he has been perfect. I think the Cowboys are in that convo now, AJ.
Yeah, and you heard Jerry say that Mike is as busy as he's ever been as the Cowboys coach, calling the plays now and everything. I would have guessed he's a little bit like re-energized. He has to do so much on game day, and he probably feels young again calling these plays. They're starting out 2-0. The defense is killing it. I look for big things from the Cowboys.
Okay, this would have been a perfect lead-in to Micah at 1:30.
Let's go.
You know what I mean? Like, you did it on purpose. Almost professional host stuff right there.
Yeah, perfect.
You know what I mean? Got there to 1:30:00.
Yep.
I guess we've been pushed back down to 2:30 with Micah, which was the original time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Nice. So we moved it to 1:30. Would have been great if he would have just dropped in right there, but he's getting extra work in. Okay?
Obviously.
It's not us
What do you expect?
to be the ones to stop Micah from getting better at the football. With that being said, we should call that other guy now and move him back as quick as possible, the general. Go ahead,
Speaking
Tony.
of coaches doing a lot, I saw a tweet from Wombo that made a ton of sense that, hey, 4 seconds left with McVay, kick the field goal. Maybe if there's a tiebreaker situation coming down the road for points for, points against, stuff like that, that's kind of the situation that probably happened there.
Yeah, Lombo said that you're always going to take points if you can get them. It's like we've seen a lot of games end. Clock, whistle, blow, teams in the red zone, game over. Yeah. We just lost by 2 scores.
All the time.
We just lost all the time. So the fact that Sean McVay is thinking way ahead of that, he's probably told an assistant before, hey, if we ever get in a situation like this, what we need to do is kick the points because we don't know playoff differential later. Those points are going to be judged upon us. Did you know that playoff differential has a points differential deciding factor in it? We need to do that.
Division.
Whenever we're in that division, we need to make sure we go ahead and do that. So somebody needs to remind me, if we're down the red zone, this isn't give up time. No, we need to put points on the board. And then 4 seconds are left. Spread is 7. You're down 10. And you kick that to make it 7. To add 3 more points to your point differential. You can sleep soundly at night. You can say, hey, listen, we got 3 more points for that point differential, but everybody else is saying, McVay, you bet on this game.
Spread.
You bet on this game.
What do you do in that situation, though? Like, just let it run out? You throw a Hail Mary? You kick, because I was thinking, when it was happening, damn, I mean, they're going to lose the game, obviously, but what do you do?
I like that he just gave his kicker another, you know what I mean?
Another rep.
Another rep. Get another 1-for-1, makeable kick. Here you go. 3 more points on the season. If we were to go back and visit that drive, and I wish we would have it, I don't know if we do, but where were they before then? I'm kicking a field goal as soon as we get into, even if it's a 49, 51-yarder, as soon as we get into field goal range, I'm kicking a field goal. Because then we have to connect an onside kick anyways. And you can throw a Hail Mary a lot further than it is easier to make a kick. So I'm trying to get that thing to 7 as fast as possible if we're down 10. Go ahead, Tone.
So it's an 11-play, 50-yard drive. They didn't get into field goal range. They got to the 20 with 4 seconds.
Yeah, so I don't even think they had an opportunity.
They were at the 37 with 19 seconds left.
Ooh.
So, I mean, send them out there for a 55-yarder.
Yeah.
Not really, It's like, do you do that or you just save it for yeah, so I don't know how you handle it.
Tough.
Normally teams just say, we'll take a shot at the end zone. If they take a shot at the end zone and they add 6 to that, and then they clearly cover instead of a push, then there's going to be people even more upset.
Yeah.
They're just doing wasted touchdowns with 4 seconds left in the game so they can what? Screw us, the books get richer? Of course that's what they're doing. Let's pivot away from the NFL and let's go to college. Ladies and gentlemen, there has been a top 5 ranking on this show 2 times.
Yep.
And it has been electrifying.
Oh, yeah.
A lot has happened in college football. Are we going to see some movers and shakers? Let's go to the man that we trust the most. It is time for the General's Top 5 with Bobby Carpenter. How you doing, Bobo? We appreciate you joining us. That's a negative Ghost Rider, but what is a positive Ghost Rider on these top 5, Bob?
Oh, Coach, we're going to come strong with the General's Top 5 today. Hey, 0-0 ranked matchups last week. This week we got 6. But you know what, man? Last week was electric in college football. And it always produces, Pat. That's the big thing you love each and every week. So we're going to start with number 5. We're going to go down south. We're going to go to the Florida State Seminoles. Had a rough one in Boston College. That thing came down to the wire as they were battling BC. If it wasn't for the fact Boston College had about 40 penalties for 500 yards, they may not have escaped there with a victory, but were able to pull that thing out. And they got a huge one this week, Pat. In Clemson, Death Valley. This might be where Clemson tries to save their season.
Yeah, save their season, save the conversation about Clemson, the narrative, everything like that. And in Boston, that was a red bandana game.
Oh, yeah.
So that is, that's a lot bigger than just football. I think Florida State's pumped to get out of there with a dub, and they're just never looking back on that. Clemson, big question marks around them, General. I mean, honestly, on the football field, the future, everything. How do you think Florida State handles it?
I think Florida State's going to be good. And this is the thing. This is the first time, Pat, where they've been up on this stage, and you see them now trying to make sure they can get it done. And you're playing a team, you feel like you should probably beat it, and you mentioned the red ribbon. BC was going to be amped up for that thing. And now it's part and parcel dealing with expectations. I think Florida State is in a good spot for that. And then so we'll go to the number 4 squad, another team out there that, you know what? They've got to deal with expectations too, and it's the first time in a while where at the University of Texas, man, they have been big man on campus coming in after a huge victory last week against Alabama. And you know what? When you go and you win at Texas, dude, everybody in the city of Austin and the whole state is rubbing your shoulders. They got a little tight one with Wyoming this week. It was 10-10 heading into the third. They were able to pull away in the fourth. Quinn Ewers didn't look quite as good. And I'll check it up to both of those teams now. When you're the hunted, it's a little bit different than being the hunter.
Yeah, the Texas boys were in their comedy mothership second floor getting shoulder rubs.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because they have things going on and they're winning games. AJ, we saw that Texas team. They're big enough to win. They got the size to be able to do it in the athleticism.
Absolutely. If Quinn Ewers can continue to play even remotely close to what he did against Alabama, yeah, they're gonna win a ton of games.
Who do you got at number 3, General?
All right, number 3, I have the Michigan Wolverines. They played Bowling Green, didn't necessarily look great in the first half, pull away in the second. They've been doing a great job. They got Rutgers this week, starting off their Big Ten slate, so not a huge matchup out. But they're gonna,
Shiano?
Look out.
Hey, Pat, I mean, the Shiano man, you know him as well as anybody. I mean, listen, you got to be careful when you're dealing with him.
Yeah, he's chopping wood, bro.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing it every single day. He was not supposed to be in the NFL. Remember, people actually talk about him as maybe the worst NFL coach of all time.
By far.
Petrino's up there in the conversation whenever he was at Atlanta.
Yep.
Obviously, people talk about Saban in Miami. I don't think it's nearly as loud as it is about Shiano and his team. They hated him.
Oh, yeah.
They did not like the way he was operating. He was hiding behind poles in the exit ramp tunnel for the locker room after a loss just to see who was smiling on his team. Guys are walking in after a loss. I think it was preseason. They're walking in after a loss, and all of a sudden, Shiano man, boom, pops up from behind a pole. Smiling, name down. Cut those guys.
See ya.
And then I remember at the end of the game, taking a knee.
Oh, yeah. No.
It's been happening since the beginning of football in the NFL. Shiano says, not under my watch. Hey, you guys, all of you, going to be considered dirty football players.
That's right.
Because this is what we're going to do. But these are like, this is not how you play professional football. Who's the coach? Who's the player? Shut up. Dive at their knees, try to tear their ACLs.
Yep.
So then he gets back to college. I'm like, thank God he got out of the men's league, gets back into his world. I love Shiano at Rutgers. It just feels like it's the right fit. Feels like it's what it is. Will Rutgers ever be able to keep up with all the other schools that they're currently in a conference with?
No.
Never.
No chance.
But look, they'll show up for a game, though, and ruin some hearts. Is it Michigan this weekend?
Oh.
Is it Michigan this weekend?
Might be.
I don't know.
Shiano probably
Let's
loves
see.
Urban Meyer.
That'll be a good one, man.
Yeah.
That'll be a heck of a game. And
Oh, my God. Hold on, General, because I didn't have Urban Meyer in there. I completely forgot about the Jacksonville thing.
Yeah, you do because of that.
Petrino, Saban, Urban, Shiano, just never really. Why is that, General? Because adults, right?
I'll tell you this. You talk about all those guys, and if you've ever had a chance to kind of talk with them, they're very intense individuals. And, you played for a guy like Tony Dungy. I mean, you played with some guys that are a little bit more relaxed and chill. In the NFL, now you're playing 17 games. You cannot be 5,000, 6,000 RPMs every single day. Guys will burn out and explode. And I think that's what Shiano learned. Saban was a little bit better than it, but most of those guys, man, they run too hot, and it's just too hard. And you're dealing with grown men, man. These ain't kids anymore.
I heard stories about down there in Atlanta with Petrino where grown adults were not allowed to talk at the dinner before the game, the night before the game. They're having dinner out there, and it was like nobody's allowed to talk because we didn't win last week. And I think one player who is very famous from that particular Falcons team almost fought him, had to be held back. He's like one of the nicest humans of all time. So I don't think it went well at all down there. But some of those college rules don't work for adults. And some people figure that out, some people don't. Happy Shiano's back in college. Michigan's got a tough one. I'm saying that's an underrated tough one.
Yeah.
Who's number 2, Coach?
Number 2, we've got the Georgia Bulldogs. They had another tough game taking on South Carolina conference squad. You thought, hey, you know what? This looks like one they should cruise over. Shane Beamer and Spencer Rattler, they had other ideas altogether. Heck, they were winning at the half. Georgia then in the second half puts the throttle down, goes and scores a handful of touchdowns, takes control of the game. But this is going to be a tough test. That's why there has never been a team that has won 3 straight national championships in college football since the start of the AP era. It is really, really hard to be good 3 years in a row, each and every week. So Georgia battling a little bit of that right now as they're trying to find their way with Carson Beck.
Rattler got sacked 9 times against North Carolina. I assumed Georgia was just going to dominate that aspect. They were able to get around it down there in South Carolina. Beamer's got a good football brain.
Rattler's been playing really, really good this year, and he has one of the worst O-lines in college, if not the SEC for sure. Rattler's been playing really good though. They gave Georgia all they could for a while. It was an interesting little Saturday.
And Beamer said Rattler, not like a loud, outspoken guy, because I think like he had a narrative about him because of what happened in Oklahoma.
Oh yeah,
and then
hanging in the pocket and making throws.
Great, he looks very, very good, and I think he hears all the conversation about all the other quarterbacks. Remember, he was supposed to be that quarterback.
Yeah,
big time.
So like coming out of high school, he was supposed to be that guy. I think he has kind of hit a second level for it. Good for him, but nonetheless, Georgia still beats him.
Right.
And they move on. But I thought that defensive line was going to do more than what they did. Georgia number 2, they'll figure it out as we go. And at number 1, is there a big time change? Huh?
Coach, you're talking about figuring it out as we go. I mean, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to kind of hit your stride. The Ohio State Buckeyes taking on Western Kentucky 63-10. Offense looks tremendous. Kyle McCord looks fantastic. Over 300 yards in the air. Marvin Harrison Jr., couple kids a touchdown, over 100 yards. And the big thing is that defense of Ohio State, sitting there at number 1, they were able to hold one of the best offenses you're going to find in Division I football in Western Kentucky. They were holding them to 10 points. They scored 41, Coach, on South Florida. You know what Bama scored on South Florida last weekend? 17.
There's a storm.
17.
Yeah.
So
There's
this
a
is a
storm.
team that's got it going on a little bit.
No, I agree. Western Kentucky throws the ball. I mean, they sling that thing. I appreciate the way the Hilltoppers come out and do their football. The Ohio State squad, though, McCord, we're all in, right? We're all in. This guy's the guy?
We're all in. We're sitting. Listen, he's sitting in the Ferrari. He's ready to drive that thing. They've taken it out of the garage. Ryan Day wanted to put the pedal down last week, and they did it in a big way.
AJ, Notre Dame this weekend. We're going to be there on Friday. Obviously, you're bringing the split jersey. Do you think Ohio State? Oh, General loves it. Big pop out of the General. AJ, I love that. AJ, honestly, Ohio State, Notre Dame. This is one of two tests in everybody's eyes over there in Ohio. It's Notre Dame. You get through that, okay? Then we got Michigan, last game of the season. That's all eyes are on it. How do we feel? We stack up against this Notre Dame team. You think they're worthy of the number 1 overall seed at this point?
Yeah, I mean, until someone knocks them off there and the General keeps them up there, of course, that they deserve it. But I think this is the test for both squads, for Notre Dame, for Ohio State. I think both teams expected to be undefeated coming into this game, and then they said, all right, let's see where we're at after this game. I think we're both sides kind of have the same view.
General, how worried are you about Marcus Freeman, Ohio State guy?
Ooh. Yeah.
Listen, he's going to do what he did last year. He loves, he's under Coach Tressel, under Coach Fickle. He's going to slow this game down. I know they got Sam Hartman. They can push the ball around. We've watched him throw it a little bit more, but I'm telling you, this game is going to come down to running the football and stopping the run.
Esteme's a guy, too. Running back.
He's good.
He runs hard. Yeah, he runs their offensive line, very, very. Sam Hartman has stole the highlights because of how good his beard is.
Right. The rib.
And his hair. And
got the rib on his collar.
And he was a guy awake. He's Notre Dame national television every week doing the same things.
Yes.
I mean, he looks unbelievable. But they are giving that rock test. He runs hard, Coach. Is Ohio State ready for that?
Listen, Tommy Eichenberg, Steel Chambers, 2 names you need to know, 2 linebackers for Ohio State. Tommy's older brother played at Notre Dame. He's going to be juiced up to go there to put on a show for these guys. They got to rap. Listen, you mentioned he is a big physical dude. I mean, AJ go through there, try to knock his helmet off. He'd grab it, rip it off like the program. That's the type of energy they're going to need. Maybe Mr. Hawk needs to slide on over there Friday night. They said they may have someone giving that pregame speech. No one can give a pregame speech like the Hawks do.
Is it the president of Ohio's turn to speak to the team? Are you doing that, AJ? You telling them, talking to the boys?
Let's go.
I do not believe so, but that's nice. Bob would be great at that.
What if you wear that split jersey?
Yeah.
And you say, my brother-in-law is the biggest star has come out of this place in some time. But today, it ain't about the split jersey. Oh my God. The relic has been broke. Here, Eichenberg's going to throw a chair. Ryan Day's going to do his thing. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be like, wow, I've never been this motivated in my life. Is that what you're doing, AJ?
Go, boys.
Yep. I mean, I wasn't planning on it, but now that you lay it out like that, yes, I think I have.
All right, General.
That might be Marvin Harrison Jr. calling now.
Saying, oh my God.
No, we're good.
We need it.
I just went 6 to midnight.
Hey, now, Pat, listen. Are you a wrestling fan, Pat?
I think so. Yeah.
You enjoy the rest. So this week, I've got my Undertaker team of the week coming out of nowhere. The Resurrection. I had him buried, Coach. I had him buried. Everybody had him buried. After Florida went out to Utah and looked terrible, I kept wondering, why are they only touchdown favorite? Why is Tennessee only touchdown favorite in the Swamp? But the Florida Gators came back out of nowhere and smoked Tennessee. Came off the mat, out of the coffin. Like Prince Oberyn was dancing around there. The mountain rolled over, grabbed their head, and just boom, exploded that thing.
Wow.
Graham Mertz looked good. I was ready to write the Florida Gators off for dead. Heck of a job by those guys getting it done, beating Tennessee. Tennessee's got some issues, but Billy Napier, huge win for him because, man, he was on the hottest of hot seats after they have looked this year.
So Tennessee had not won down there in 20 years.
Damn.
Billy Napier was on an incredibly hot seat, and the Tennessee offense did not look like the offense that it looked like last year. So I actually picked Florida to win that on game day, and it was like, I don't want to say one of the easier ones, but like it just felt like when you're talking about humans and how Napier was being talked about, how that team was being talked about, with how much of an advantage the Swamp is, I guess. I've never played down there, but they're talking about like that's one of the greatest home field advantages in all of college football because I guess the humans are. You got some dogs going.
A lot of Florida guys.
I guess you got a lot of Florida men. Yeah. You got a lot of Florida men and a lot of Florida women in there who are losing their minds. Good for Florida. What an honor to be bestowed upon them.
I know.
The Undertaker team?
First ever.
A lot of responsibility, too, though.
Oh, the urn.
Yeah.
Yeah, more pressure.
Anything else? Do we have any other gimmicks?
I mean, Coach, do I need more gimmicks than that? I thought The Undertaker rising up was
No, it was good. It was good. It was good. It was good. It was more than enough.
That's not selling you.
I didn't know if I was going to OD on General Bob Carpenter stuff. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. The General in his top 5, Bob Carpenter.
Yeah, General.
I didn't know if we still had a Vince Carter thing.
Yeah,
wasn't sure. I mean,
it was
what was
triple
last
shot, double shot.
New theme. Every week. New theme every week.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah, I like him thinking when he sees it, like the Undertaker gift popped up on his thing. He's like, that's Florida.
Yeah. My favorite part is when ESPN CFB puts out the General's Undertaker team of the week this week. Florida Gators, look out.
Him getting quoted on ESPN social media handles is hysterical.
So good.
Just because, people have been doing top 25s for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
A long, long time.
Since day one. Jesus probably did one.
And then I would assume he had top 12.
Yeah, top 12 disciples.
Okay. Yeah, it was top 12.
Yeah, until they.
He was pretty good at ranking them. Well, Judas was 12.
Yeah, which
Unlucky.
is why he.
Number 13, actually, the unlucky number is where it comes from.
Is that real?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Could have been. Hey,
Could have been, though.
Could have sold that.
Yeah, might start.
We would have
doing
found
it.
out at the end of the show.
But us just acting like the General's top 5 matters is really what matters.
That's right.
So, his thing was like, until Ohio State gets knocked off, they're going to be up there. It's like Georgia's the back-to-back national.
Yeah.
Instead of number 2, it's like they did have a tough outing, but they looked apart. Did you know Carson Beck, quarterback, has a tattoo on his lower left calf?
Oh, I did not.
It's like flames coming up his left calf.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That's kind of cool.
From his Achilles?
Yeah, it goes up from his, and then he has something on his arm as well. He has like some pretty sweet tats.
Oh.
I did not expect that out of the Georgia quarterback, but I'm picking up what he's putting down on there. I think he's going to be a guy.
I like that a lot.
Georgia fans hate me.
Why?
I don't even though I picked David Pollock.
Sure.
I'm like, I feel like I was nice to you guys. I feel like I liked this.
Wanted to talk about him more than most people.
Kirby Smart, big fan of. Yeah. Oh, I get it. I took David Pollock's spot. Okay, that makes sense. That's what happened. I'll still like your school. But if they lose and I got to say something bad about them, boy, those mentions are going to get a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to do it.
No
I'm just going
point.
to keep it moving. That's not for me to talk about. What is for us to talk about, though, is some of the headlines that we have not covered around the football world. Last night, we got very excited to stay in the college football world. There was an offense coordinator who's the son of the head coach out in Iowa.
Yeah.
And boy, we've been talking about this guy's production and how bad he is at his job for some time. We've actually said nepotism is on display in Iowa, and the fact that it is still existing shows that nepotism will always be a ruler of decision making. So Ferentz has been very much underperforming as the offensive coordinator for his dad, Kirk Ferentz's Iowa Hawkeyes. They were number 131 in the entire FBS last night, college football last year, out of like 132 teams offensively. Their defense was great. Their punter's incredible. Iowa's a great place. It's a powerful school with a lot of history. The offense being that terrible is unacceptable. Who's running it? Oh, the coach's son. Well, Kirk, you're beloved by all of Iowa, but maybe that'll change if you don't make the right decision and get this guy the hell out of here for the good of the program, for the good of the state. So now they rework his contract. Going to have to score 25 points every single game, and then you'll get paid a little bit more. Incentivize professionalism. It happens to players all the time in the NFL and the NBA, and the world knows about it. Now it's happening at Iowa. I think it was a good answer. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Bring in a transfer quarterback. Okay, we got a guy now. He crashes and goes through the 25-point barrier one time, first time, and then he had a press conference, we thought, addressing the entire situation that hit the internet last night. And this is what he said in this press conference we saw on the internet last night.
You all have had fun with this 25-point obsession, and I get it. I do. But if I'm not mistaken, we just dropped 41 on Saturday. So maybe it's time to grab a hold of your little step ladders and go ahead and climb out of my ass for a while.
So, greatest answer of all time. I hear that video for the first time. Dig sends it into the group. I see the video, and I've been pretty loud about this guy on College Game Day and on this show just because, like, I love Iowa. I have a lot of friends in Iowa that want to Iowa. The team should be good. They're not because of this guy. It's like, yo, to hell with this guy. I watch it. I'm like, I love this guy.
The man.
This is my guy. I am now a big... Turns out it's AI.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's not real.
Son of a.
Oh. That's fake.
That's a deep fake.
That was a good one.
That's where we're at right now, though. We need to know that.
Yeah.
That
Scary.
can change your entire feeling about a human being. One 11-second video made by a fake thing made me loving this guy. Not real. So if I'm Brian Ferentz, just like if I was Drake, you know, AI Drake came out and dropped like 3 bangers.
So good.
Like old Drake beats with whole thing, and it was like, sounded like it was Drake. It was not Drake, but the songs were flame.
Loved him.
We're like, hey, Drake, this is what you do now. You just take that song. That's your song. Thanks to AI for making it. Brian Ferentz at his next press conference needs to walk out here, drop that line, and then he needs to say, when my time is here is over and it has all come to pass, I hope they bury me upside down so the world can kiss my ass, and then just walk off. If he turns full heel, I will love it. But yeah, that was fake, but I was pumped up about it. It's hard for me
Could he come out and claim it though and be like, hey, that may have been AI, but that's exactly what I was thinking.
I'm the one that made the AI.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
What if he said that? Yeah,
I commissioned that AI. I commissioned it. I wrote the script for that.
We got to watch it, though, if that's how accurate AI is.
That's scary.
You should hear the presidents playing Call of Duty together. It is pretty gut-wrenching.
Who's the best? Who's winning?
Which president?
Well, I think they're all losing, but it's just AI voicing all of them as if they were talking to each other through a Call
Lincoln?
of Duty game. No. Like
it's coming.
Biden.
It is coming.
AI's coming hard.
It's here. Coming hard all over.
It certainly is. Got me to like Brian Ferentz.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, pump the brakes on that. But yeah, if that would have been real, I would have been full steam ahead on the Brian Ferentz train.
All right, this Tuesday show on ESPN is coming to an end. We'll be back manana with a massive, I think, Jason Kelsey and some
Whoa.
Micah Parsons joins us at 2:30 on YouTube and ESPN Plus. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Screws.
Hey, nice.
Seeing the ball well right now.
Dingers.
Seeing the ball well right
Both gambling and
now. Can we see the graphic from this past weekend? We didn't do this the first week, AJ. I do apologize, but I'm seeing the field well right now. I'm seeing the board well right now, AJ.
Why didn't we do it the first week?
Well, we did do it the first week, just not as often.
Later
as
on.
We're going to do this week.
You're on fire, man. This is good.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
And now I'm at the point where it's like, let's not overthink this.
Nope.
Okay? Game day, Tony and I sit down, chit-chat. It's like easy, 8-1. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Very.
All of a sudden now we're 9-4-3. It's like, wait a minute. Are we seeing football well right now? Let's not overanalyze anything, but let's start understanding where we are right now, maybe for the next couple of weeks. And that's how I woke up this morning. After last night, obviously there was a push that's going to happen. But whenever I get the Steelers beating the Browns, where it makes no sense why that should have happened. I actually said that yesterday when I was making the pick. It was like, this makes no sense. After what the Browns did to the Bengals last week and how the Pittsburgh Steelers looked against San Francisco 49ers, getting 2.5 at home, the Browns should just beat the hell out of the Steelers team. And with that being said, give me the Steelers is what I said, actually. That's my new way of thinking. That's not great, I don't think, but also happy it's working.
That was a big theme in week 2. Teams that looked bad in week 1 did come back and end up either covering or winning in week 2. And you shouldn't have been. Same old Browns, my friend. It's going to be every single year.
Yep.
Year after year. Doesn't matter what they do. Same old Browns.
What'd you say? Say it with me. Same old Browns. Yeah, you were getting real loud last night on the X. I seen you. Because you were being real quiet during the day. Nobody talk about this game. Nobody talk about this game.
Well,
let's talk about the Panthers Saints. And then all of a sudden, once things start happening, you're like, well, would you look at that? Cleveland Browns are back to being the Cleveland Browns again. Stupid, poopy, elf team Browns. They stink. That's what you're doing.
Had to pull out all the stops yesterday. All the tricks. I had to go deep into the bag yesterday. Be very pessimistic. I haven't picked a Steeler game in 3 years. I picked the Browns yesterday. You got to do it all.
Wow.
I hate it.
Tony.
I hate it so much.
Why?
Because it worked.
Yeah.
Well, and the 5 things he cares about in his life.
Oh, yeah, the 5 pillars.
Yeah. Yep. Football, family, faith.
Job.
Job was the last one. Remember, we had it was the 4 pillars of your life.
And his gambling record, though.
Oh, yeah, your gambling.
And he laid that last one on the line.
For the Brownies.
Well, that football comes before.
How are you guys doing, Hammer Down? We winning or not?
Pretty good, actually.
That sounded like a maybe voice.
2-0 last night.
Hammer Down boys.
Oh yeah,
they're good gamblers.
6-2 on Sunday. We're cooking a bit.
Hammer Down boys are always cooking. It feels like. All right, let's get to a break. Hour 3 will be on the other side. Michael Parsons will join us in about 35 minutes. Can't wait for that convo. Maybe he does though. Zeta brought up something good in my ear whenever they moved the time. Remember, he was supposed to do Undisputed every week, and then he just never did it.
Yeah, after the first.
What if Micah just doesn't come on? That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Cool
if that was
move.
the case. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, he would.
I would respect it if he was like, that's my thing, yeah.
Yeah, sure, I'll come on.
He's Michael Parsons. He can do that.
Do whatever he wants.
He can literally do that for the next 15 years. He's just getting started right now.
Yeah.
We forget about how young he is.
Still have to
He
get
is
paid.
Just getting started, AJ, in this entire game.
How much are they going to pay him $1 billion when he is up? Like, what do you pay?
300.
Are you going to ask him that? Are you going to ask him?
Yeah, we're going to have to.
If this goes in, he's coming on.
Okay.
Universe, let us know.
Come through.
Yep.
Oh.
Sure he had
Look
eyes
good.
on that Bosa contract situation?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good for Bose.
Probably get 200 guaranteed.
Come on, Universe. We want to talk to him.
You do want to talk to him.
Oh,
Look good.
felt good.
Universe!
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Come on, Universe.
Oh, no.
Come on.
Oh, jeez.
Come on, Universe! Oh.
Yep.
Is there bad news?
Well, allegedly he got pulled into a meeting.
Okay.
Who knows? Who
Son
knows?
of a bitch.
Those Tuesday
Cross them off the
meetings.
board then.
Come on!
Maybe next year.
Gotta aim right.
Maybe
The
not.
long toss right there.
That's a
Oh,
This is a long toss.
It is. Full basketball court.
Oh man! I mean, those are good bags.
Good bag.
Good bag.
dialed in.
Some lube on that board.
There it is.
Oh, you see, you need
Sets
that
up
thing sliding
perfectly.
a little bit.
Oh, my God.
Now you blocked yourself.
Push it!
I'd have to go overhand to get that.
Yeah, you got to hit a jumper right there.
There it is.
Oh, ooh, that was close.
Bonus ball.
All right. I think he's coming on. Even though the Universe.
Doesn't sound like it.
The Duke.
Oh, no. Oh, man.
Duke was halfway
That feels
down.
like a hard cancel now.
was gonna say,
Yeah, that was halfway down.
Duke never lies.
Yeah. It's a big go to hell.
Oh,
There it is. There it is. Yeah.
coming on.
Volume
Coming
2.
on!
There we
It's
go.
coming on! I'm like Steph Curry in high school. I watched that documentary. Mm-hmm. The coach that recruited him to Dayton or whatever. So I watched him miss 15 shots straight. And that 16th one went up with so much confidence. It was at that point we knew we had a guy. Because it was a bad night for him, but he wasn't scared to shoot the rock. I was hoping the Universe would show up.
It did.
And it certainly did. We got Mike Parsons on in 30 minutes.
Hopefully.
No.
Go, Mike.
Hopefully.
Connor.
What do you mean?
He'll
The
be here.
universe.
Ball just went in.
Micah Parsons is the universe, gentlemen. We do not control a universe.
Oh, no.
No, but you just made the last one.
Jeez.
I'm telling you right now.
Let's get to a break, all right? Let's all have positive vibes. I don't need your shit right now.
Look,
Yep.
We can't go out on a miss, especially with your negativity.
look, I agree,
Calibrate.
but I'm just trying to be
Is
real.
that going in the
I
cornhole board?
want to
Yep, sorry.
prepare you guys for
Oh,
Micah
yeah,
Parsons.
drain
Got it.
That was a hell of a toss.
Yeah, you've been spinning the Wilson ball.
It's tough to control.
Yeah, it is.
I was like with the Colorado women's soccer team.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing that crossbar game for 25 yards. It's like 25 yards. And this is like a dude perfect operation. Got back up to like 60 because I don't have the touch to do this thing.
Post Terramana, nonetheless.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're boozed up. Too,
Yeah.
So.
But like with that Russell Wilson football,
Oh no.
I don't have the touch on that thing. We need to see how far we can get that and put a bucket.
600 yards.
Well, that's the problem
least.
is you have no idea where that thing's going either. I mean, I calibrate it the best I can, but
Mana.
Yeah, you truly don't know the mana. Oh, bonus ball.
bonus ball,
Bonus ball.
Oh, lava.
It's not coming on. I'm worried about it. A lot
Yeah.
of misses.
Based on what we know.
All right, we're done. Let's take a break. Let's have positive vibes. Okay, let's say Mike is coming on.
Okay.
He is.
All right.
He's coming.
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice, and also let's hope this graveyard doesn't happen again. A lot of misses lately. Can't have it.
all right.
Take 5.
5.
Five.
This is the People Show. And you know what that means? Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Dan in Connecticut. Lovely place here on the 5 Energy phone line. What's going on, Dano?
Oh, what's up, Pat McAfee?
Dan, you are too young to listen to this show. I can tell. I think. How old?
I'm not Dan. I am Owen.
Mitt. Owen, how old are you?
It's so different.
I am at 8.5.
Oh, that's cute.
8.5.
If you're telling us you're half age, you're too young to be listening.
That's a record.
What?
What's on your mind, pal?
What do you want to talk about, Owen?
I want to talk about how inspiring this show is and how you're inspiring this whole entire world with how you're talking about sports and how you're talking about your life experience.
Thank you, Owen.
Owen, thank you.
Love you, Owen.
Thank you,
Owen, I'm taking her on
And
the
also, fuck Boston.
I will let Owen know, if you're still listening, Owen, you're inspiring.
Best kid ever.
Owen, the way you talk about sports is inspiring.
Yes!
I didn't know 8.5 could do that.
Wow.
Shout out Owen.
That time.
Go, Owen.
Hey, Owen. New generation in Connecticut, I guess.
He was making me feel good, too, by the way. He's making me feel good, making the show feel good. He was talking us up. He was hyping us up, and then boom, a little...
Was this Aristotle's brother?
A little misdirection from Aristotle's brother, Owen, at 8.5 there. That was awesome.
I'd say he put his balls on your forehead, but I don't think they dropped yet. So.
I went to one wrestling practice. I was like, holy shit. I gotta gain weight. I can't do this.
Because you had to... So...
My dad took me aside in 8th grade and was like, you're kind of skinny, but you're super slow, Ted. And you need to put on weight. I actually gained 100 pounds in 1 year.
What'd you do?
I drank a gallon of milk before school every day for a whole year.
What?
It's verified. You can verify it. It's
Every day.
Every single day.
Is that good for you?
I know it's horrible. My body rejects milk.
What year was it? What year was it?
Freshman to sophomore year of high school.
Did you grow as well?
Yeah, I grew like 4 inches and gained 100 pounds. It's unbelievable.
Because of the milk every single morning?
I probably hit a puberty too.
You ever switch it up between white and chocolate or?
No, 2%.
2%. Give me the whole. Give me the thick stuff.
Maybe on a day I was feeling weak, skim, but
still a gallon.
Hey,
What?
let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this glorious, Aaron Rodgers will be on the show Friday, Tuesday, September 19th, 2023. Hour 3 of the program starts now. Football! That was a lot of words. Shout out to you, A.J. Hawk, the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers is here. The Toxic Table is here. At Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. A 9-year NFL vet, host of Everything DB and the Man-to-Man podcast and NFL matchups.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Darius Butler.
Yeah, D-Buck.
D-Buck, good news. You're going to be doing Everything DB here after our conversation with Micah Parsons that could potentially be taking place in about 21 minutes. We have changed the marquee up there. Will Micah come on the program? Go ahead and use hashtag PMS yes or hashtag PMS no on the X app. And obviously PMS stands for Pat McAfee Show.
Right.
We should change that to next time. Hashtag the PMS yes.
Nice.
Hashtag, well, that's even worse.
I was going to say, you can't.
I am so sorry that that's my name. People get very upset about us using that. But anyways, that's not on me to worry about. That's on everybody else. Hashtag PMS yes or hashtag PMS no. Will Micah end up coming on the program?
Maybe throw the live in there because hashtag PMS live's in the corner.
Oh, so hashtag PMS live yes?
Yeah.
No. No.
Too much.
Oh, you're saying hashtag PMS Live, hashtag PMS yes?
Or just hashtag PMS Live with the answer after it.
Oh, you're saying no, but that's not the game. The game is which one of these is going to get used more. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
I thought that we're trying to figure out the game by making it not say just PMS yes or no.
well, certainly.
I mean, it's your name. You can't fucking
What did
do
I do?
anything about it.
What do you want me to do
know?
about it?
Sorry.
Sorry?
Sorry.
Too late.
You're born that way.
Anyway, I was born this way.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Congrats.
You and
Shout out Gaga.
Gaga.
Thank you, Gaga.
Thank you, Gaga.
Love Gaga.
What a song.
She's good.
What an artist.
What was the...
But in the shallow.
No, that's a different song, but she's very good in that one.
Just dance. Gonna be okay.
What's the other one? Poker Face, too?
Oh, yeah.
Poker face. Pop, poker face. I want your love.
Was that a Britney Spears song where she spelled out a thing with using a bunch of words?
If you seek Amy.
Boom. There, F-U-C-K me. Yes, that's what she was saying.
Mhm, yeah.
You know, and now I would like to say that when Aaron told us, see you next Tuesday,
Oh.
you know, I don't know what he was doing there.
Me neither.
Because he was kind of on his, you know what I mean?
Yeah, could have had some drugs still in his system, maybe.
Because he was
He's
fresh out of
druggy.
What do you think, AJ?
No,
What do you
officer.
I didn't think of it in the moment, but you never know with that guy. He's pretty calculated, so maybe it was something.
He said, I'll see you next Tuesday. And it was like,
He's trying to say something.
Oh.
What are you?
Trying to
He
say,
was
take a
calling
swipe at
us.
she's talking to you? Talking to me?
I mean, probably me. Yeah.
Does he call you that a lot?
Because we didn't see him this Tuesday.
We did.
Oh.
We didn't see him, you know?
No.
No.
I texted this morning. Hey, is Friday good? Question mark. Yeah, absolutely.
I thought.
I thought we were going to see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said it.
Was that his? So
Did he
So
say
were you
getcha?
just?
So
Were
he
you-
definitely.
what do you think, AJ? You think he was calling? Should we think about? Well, how should we think about this? You think?
I mean, we should definitely analyze it over the next 2 to 3 days, and we'll ask him on Friday, maybe.
All right. It's
Was
gonna be
that
tough.
actually him that you talked to? Or was it AI?
See, this is the deal.
Or
now that
Was
we
it a
see that-
hologram?
Was it a clone?
now that we see that Brian Ferentz thing, it's going to be hard for me to believe anything on the internet ever because that was his face.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that was his words.
Yep.
And it was the best thing I've ever heard him say.
Yep.
For sure.
And I fell in love with him. How easy could somebody get me going the other way? Oh, my God.
Don't love
Imagine
it.
if he would have said something like, you think I'm bad? You should see our kicker and the punter. They're the absolute worst. And it's like, I hate that guy even more.
Yeah.
Probably lead off the show with how bad I hate this guy. And then lo and behold, it's just AI. We got to be a little bit more patient with everybody these days, I think. Because we don't know what's real and what isn't real.
We need community notes on that too. I mean, what are community notes for if you know
Thank
we're
you.
just gonna let this thing run away?
It was
and-
me who got.
At the wheel.
It was, and then I got got.
And I mean, I didn't even know what Ferentz looked like till yesterday. So I got
See-
because that could have been. You could have told me that was, Tom
Bingo.
Brady, and I would have
Bingo.
believed.
And I figured it out within 6 seconds that I got, but you had already put one out there, and I thought,
Do you know how happy I was when I saw that?
as happy as I was when I saw it.
I said, I love this guy.
Yeah.
This is my guy.
Unfortunately, I knew because he is one milquetoast son of a bitch, no personality. I knew he would never say something like that, so I knew almost instantly. But it was fun in the moment. It was a lot of fun.
All right, the New York Post has reported that a feces-covered man on LSD, cocaine, and marijuana
Yes.
jumped into a pit at the new Buffalo Bills stadium site.
Feast.
So he was fully naked. He obviously was covered in feces, having himself quite a day, quite a night. Who knows what concoction? What's that?
It was on Sunday, too.
Whose feces was he covered in?
We're guessing it's his, that he was pooping into his hand saying it's wartime.
Nice.
And then he was jumping into the construction site that is the new stadium. This leads to a conversation about, hey, let's tighten it up, okay? This guy can barely stand up, had poop all over him, and he's able to get in there. Let's assume some other people maybe will be. But also I heard last week that the biggest buffalo that's going to be out front is only 11 and a half feet. I was told by Bean it's big-ass buffaloes. Nothing I'm hearing out of this new Buffalo Stadium site is good. We got poop-covered LSD dudes, and we got small buffaloes, which are actually bison.
Right.
So AJ, what are our thoughts on the, it's good for Buffalo that a new stadium's coming, but everything we're hearing is bad and shitty.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. You got to, I mean, is it possible that this guy was hired by somebody and sent him there to protest the small bison or buffaloes that they have out front? Because we know that they have to be at least 40 to 60 feet tall.
Darius, we will assume this was a white man, so you don't have to say it.
Sure.
Okay? We will assume this was a white man doing this up there in Buffalo.
How long did he have poop on himself, too? Like, was he walking around for hours and hours just turds all over him? Because that would smell for miles, I think.
Yeah, Buffalo, though. It smells up there to begin with.
Buffalo's beautiful.
Beautiful.
They got a lake up there.
Look, I vacation in Buffalo. Believe me, I love the place, but this is just another Sunday for Buffalo fans. I don't know why this is news.
Yeah, and we can continue the conversation about the Buffalo Bills having negative news coming out of there. Takeo Spikes and the NFL legends were invited to be captains and speak to the team, and then they obviously put him in a spot where he couldn't see most of the field. So that's why they need a new stadium. They said, we need a new stadium, but I think Takeo Spikes was saying, you guys didn't know that I wasn't going to be able to see this entire thing? What's it? You had me talk to the team, the whole song and dance. Guess who's back? Back again. Takeo Spikes. Here's a microphone and a friend. And then you can't see any of it. He said he had to leave early.
That's a sweet.
If he lays on his belly, you can see the whole field.
Bingo.
Yeah.
But that's a tough.
Or he can just,
sweet.
Get his allegiance to Philly. I don't know why he's going back to Buffalo.
Well, because they had his jersey. I think there was a whole song and dance.
Well, some song and dance if they're putting this guy they love so much in the worst seat in the entire stadium.
That is something that feels like really slipped through the cracks, And I like the fact that Takeo Spikes was like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
What the hell?
Got a multi-billion-dollar operation going here. Asked me to come back. Right? I didn't say, hey, you know what? Have me back.
Exactly. Right.
Have me back. And then put him up there. Come on. Hey, Buffalo, let's get some good news out here.
Hey, they did win, 38-10?
Crushed the Raiders.
For the Bison. Especially the Bison.
Shit, man, might have worked.
Those need to be at least
20.
Yeah. I feel like 30's aggressive. That's 3 stories, but 20.
Do it.
How big is that?
Do 30.
I mean, that was a huge conversation for us, though. With Bean.
We saw the rendering. The rendering, look how giant they were. That's what we're expecting.
Well, we thought we were just going to get one 60-foot buffalo.
Which is actually
what they should do?
A bison.
Which is, true. We found that out this
literally we cannot stress enough that we've been bamboozled. Not by this drawing, because we have not seen a single one of these bison in front of this, but by the fact that we're even calling it a bison makes me feel like I've been lied to my entire life.
I agree.
So they were talking about Ralphie out there in Colorado, and they're like, she's actually a she, so the pronouns are she, her, and I added it as well, right? Because it's an animal.
Correct.
But then I added on to that conversation, I got one better. Not only is Ralphie a she, Ralphie's not even a buffalo.
No.
So Ralphie's a female bison that we're portraying as a male buffalo.
blown, yeah.
Ralphie doesn't deserve that.
It's bull.
But we need to make sure these bisons have big old balls and are big old tall. That's what we need. And I think Buffalo has been very clear with that.
I think we have a good enough relationship with the Buffalo Bison Bills that we should ask them who is responsible for the Buffalo Bison statues so that we can actually have a conversation with them.
Yeah, I would like to talk. I would like to talk to him.
Or call
let's reach
PETA.
out to the Buffalo Bills. Can you call? Just call Brandon Bean. Actually, cold call Brandon Bean right now.
Yep.
Let's see. He's got nothing going on.
Tell them to get the developer on the line, too. Whoever's developing the stadium.
Yeah.
Get them on the line.
Yeah, you got enough to worry about with your team and injuries around the league and getting better, and your team's great. But also, you told us big ass Buffaloes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the internet said Bean ain't lied to us.
Yeah.
Bean's the man. And then now we're here in 11.5 foot. That's a basketball hoop.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. That's a pretty big bison.
No. People are going to be climbing all over that thing. They need to make them bigger.
When you put it that way,
We are FaceTiming Brandon Bean right now, just so we do.
when you put it that way, that is kind of a big ball.
That's a big bison, dude.
But look at the buffalo.
Not compared to the stadium.
Look at the bison behind you, Pat. I mean, if it's 11 foot, how much of it is actual bison and how much is it just standing?
But perspective is what it is. So that's probably what, a 6 foot, 5 foot, 8?
Yep.
6 foot.
Are they
Say 6
taller or
foot
smaller in Buffalo?
Be even.
6 foot here.
Taller.
Okay. So
So 3X would
it's like
have been
18.
Yeah, 18, 20 feet.
Yeah, make it 30. Make it an even 30 feet tall.
20 feet.
I feel like the back there is about 18. I mean, I'm not. You tell this person should be in NBA.
Those might be 4 feet people, though.
No, not this guy. Look at this guy.
We don't know what night it is at Buffalo.
I think that's Josh.
I mean,
This guy is fucking
we're going on.
huge.
We're going on 2024.
Thick jumper.
I mean, I think we're kind of past the statues. Make them big AI buffalo robots. Maybe they're just moving,
Did the Colts
giving
do
people
the
rides.
artificial real life Takate floating around the stadium yet?
No, I don't give a shit about the whale
Augmented-
anymore. No, that's
augmented
dead, actually.
reality.
They do not give a damn.
Yeah, right. I saw a rest in peace Takate sign in Colorado this week.
That's right. They care over there. They don't give a shit here. And now that their bell cow's gone, if it's not making money for the team, who cares?
Who?
Talkie Day.
Talkie Day wasn't making money for the team. Talkie Day was costing
Quite a
the
bit.
owner of the team like $30 million.
Yeah, but that is what Jim would want to spend.
Okay, let's talk about this now.
Yes.
Nick Chubb out. They going to get a Kareem Hunt back in there? We all assume they're going to make a running back decision? Or are they potentially trading for Jonathan Taylor, AJ?
Or
Your
not.
thoughts?
The Jonathan Taylor trade does seem a bit intriguing to me. Like, do you think that could happen?
Who would they give us?
First,
Man, what do you have to get? Yeah, they don't want to give up what they would have to give up, but I think they would love to have him.
I said this earlier on First Take. I'll say it again. Give us Amari Cooper and Brownie the Elf.
That'd be cool.
You know what I mean? What, Brownie the Elf sweeping the floors around the facility. And welcome to your new job.
Or have Blue just DDT him.
And then bingo, every single play. Every single practice, every single TikTok, every single game. Sorry about it. This is your new life. Your old team, though, gets Jonathan Taylor. And then Amari Cooper. That's not too much to ask. And how about our source off? Joe Buck won.
Big time.
Joe knew.
Amari Cooper still got it. Deshaun Watson to Amari Cooper, hell of a tag team out there. I don't think the Browns have anybody or anything that maybe would make Jim Irsay or Chris Ballard say, you know what? Yeah, we'll throw you a lifeline because of something devastating happening in week 2 with the way your team has been built around an elite running back and we have to have one. Maybe they'll give a couple ones, though. You know what I mean? Maybe they're so desperate.
Do they have them after?
I thought this was this year or next year.
All of them, I believe.
But
you can find
three first. Was it 3?
You can find a couple.
You're not getting a couple ones.
They definitely next year have one.
Chris Ballard's going to sit there and take something, though, isn't he? I mean, that's what he's proven.
Yeah, of course, he should. I mean, is Jonathan Taylor for sure not going to play for the Colts or what?
I think the coach actually, I think Shane Steichen actually said we're going to get JT back in a couple weeks off of PUP. So
Feels like it.
Unless they can get a one and some other stuff for him.
Well, Jonathan Taylor put a video out on the internet from himself working out saying, hey, I'm healthy. Pretty much. I think that's what the message was.
Looked good, yeah. Looked like he was healthy.
He was letting people know he was healthy. I don't think that was for Colts fans.
No.
No, that was not. I don't think that was for Colts fans.
Loading.
I mean, even one of the other wide receivers the Browns have, Peoples-Jones or Elijah Moore.
We don't have any. Okay?
Exactly.
It'd be great to have.
Njoku.
Listen, I love that he had a pretty good game last night, a couple big-time plays, and Njoku's done his thing. I was introduced to Njoku, though, by Hugh Jack City saying, all right, punishment, Njoku. You got to go catch 30 balls on the jugs. If it's being viewed as punishment to go get extra work on the jugs on Hard Knocks, I don't want that guy on my team. Now, granted, he's obviously a freak athlete, and I assume he has evolved and changed since then. But that was my first introduction to him, and my first thought was like, punishment to go catch balls. This is a requirement. What do we?
Also, the Colts don't need another lumbering 6'5" tight ends. They have like 10 of them on the team already. But Cam Akers is allegedly available for a trade as well.
So Cam Akers was bench healthy scratch for the Los Angeles Rams, and he put out a tweet and saying, I was just as surprised as you guys. And then old buddy who's back up, Kyle Williams, he was dancing.
Yeah, he's been very good both weeks.
They were using him in a way that it was a big, hey, Cam, sorry about it type fashion. Should we look into that? Cam Akers still guy. I saw him week 1. I thought he was great.
I would absolutely look into it. I would assume they are too. I mean, Cam can't be super happy being a late scratch to the game and he didn't even know it was going to happen.
What
last year?
It's been,
This goes back.
Usually they communicate that at least a day before.
Him and McVay do not get along. I don't know what it is. I don't know if McVay doesn't like him or something happened because this is dated back to last year, and then they it made it seem like bygones were bygones going into this year. But if it's already happening this early, and then McVay I think came out today and said like, hey, our intention is to trade him. So
yeah, and you usually don't hear that,
right?
You know, that open from a head coach. And like you said, last year I think to kick off the season, everybody was surprised at his lack of usage. You know, open up against the Bills. I believe so. It's interesting. I'm sure it'll come out at some point what's been going on behind the scenes with him, but he could be a name obviously going to Cleveland as well. Kareem Hunt, I'm surprised he's still a free agent.
What's going on there? Have we heard anything? Workout, went to the Saints, didn't go in the building, came to the Colts. For some reason, they didn't sign him. There was like so many different alleges, like, well, the contract wasn't enough, and then the physical wasn't something, and then this and then that. There was so much conversation. I don't think we've heard anything from him since, have we?
Does he have any? Is there any physical issues? I would imagine it's just money that they want to lowball him, and he's probably thinking, no, like I'm a lot better than that.
I'm not 100% sure.
That's what the agent said, I believe, is that they have multiple offers. They're just mulling it over, trying to wait and figure out what place is the best for
right team.
When's he going to wait to?
Yeah, exactly. It's week 3.
Wait to see who's good. Let's see who's going to be really good this year, and that's when I'll take my stuff there.
Do the Browns have money?
Enough for him.
I think so.
I think so. I think they just restructured Deshaun's deal. and they got some money.
Give it
freed up.
more up front and for them to clear more space.
So maybe they are, the team that will offer a deal that Kareem Hunt cannot refuse. And maybe this is exactly what he's been waiting for. Because I think he knows the system.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Knows the system,
Very
knows
well.
the team.
Yep.
Feels like it could be a good start to a bounce back for them after. I mean, that Chubb injury, bub, that was quiet.
Yeah.
Anytime everybody's just quiet, it's like, oh, something real serious has happened. I guess the conversation was the last 3 Monday Night Football events. Now, DeMar Hamlin was the last one, was it?
Yeah.
That was the
Week
last one of the
17.
regular season last year.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And then Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
And then now the Nick Chubb. But Carolina Panthers Saints game had nothing.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
let's make sure we just think about that.
So Fowler, Orlovsky, Riddick probably on the call for the rest of the Monday Night Football game.
So Orlovsky, maybe the
Well,
luck.
Shaq Thompson is now out for the season.
Oh, that's right.
That is
He
a good point.
Yeah, he blew his ankle out, so he's out for the year.
But Monday Night Football is starting to become a tough spot.
And I mean, that's the truth. We got an extra day rest. I mean, it's still football at the end of the day.
Some
Unfortunately.
things you can't avoid.
Good chatter around the internet about that being a grass field last night for Nick Chubb, as opposed
Did you
to.
see when they showed? When they showed Deshaun going through his pregame meditation with his guy, and Troy and Joe were talking about it?
No, what happened? I didn't see it.
It's pretty awesome. Troy, they were showing him. They said, what did he say? There's Deshaun Watson with one of his members of his team or his mental team or something. He was kind of doing like just visualizing meditation on the bench before the game. And Troy's explained it for like 20 seconds. In the last 8 seconds, he just started laughing and just finished it. It was awesome.
Troy Aikman's laughing and Deshaun.
He could hold it in.
Oh, yeah.
I
He
did
couldn't
not
hold
see
it
it.
anymore.
Deshaun was over
I
there
love
like
Troy's
that.
hilarious.
This guy sitting over there prior to surface, just going through whatever. It was a scene.
I guess the mental. Here it is. We have the video with audio. Shout out to the back room there in ZD, baby. Here we go. This is pregame. This is during the game they're talking about this?
Yeah, pregame. Yeah,
Sidelines. That's a member of his performance team that's sitting next to him. He's doing some visualization, maybe a little meditation, but definitely was going through the visualization part of it. And we'll see whether or not that pays dividends for
Troy! Troy, it's a new era. I've heard there's everybody has a mental coach now. Everybody has ways to combat negative thoughts from outside.
Performance team, I think, what got Troy early on when he had to mention that's one of the members of his performance team. I think the formal name of saying that for an individual player, Troy probably's I've never heard of this before.
I think that was something that I was intrigued by after going up to Colts camp and hearing about that. Every one of these guys has a mental coach and everything. I'm that's good, I guess, if it works. You know what I mean? Yeah. It seems like there's a lot going on. Hopefully it won't be too much for everybody to kind of manage. But I appreciate the fact that people are seeking things and seeking people to put them in the right headspace, but also got a body team, got an arm
Gotta
team.
have the right balance. Got to have a right balance at some point too. You can't be all mental coach.
Got a cardio team, got a mental team, got a mental assistant, got this. It's that's a lot. And I assume Deshaun mentally has had to really put up some boundaries and some walls over the last couple of years.
And you can see why a guy like Aikman would just be shit, back in my day. I mean, we're not doing any of this bullshit, and I went out and won however many Super Bowls. A lot of those guys, I think, think all this stuff is a joke. But we'll see. Like you said, Deshaun, I mean, he's been through the ringer, so he might need, a mental coach.
I appreciate the fact, though, that guys are going all in on the mental aspect of the game.
Yeah.
But how do we know that all these mental coaches are the right ones? I just look at that guy. What is that guy? Is that guy improved? Has that guy accomplished anything that was talking to Deshaun Watson? I guess he's read a book on how to accomplish stuff. I assume the guy's really highly touted. But I see some of these mental coaches on the internet, and none of these motherfuckers have accomplished anything. Why is anybody listening to how this person, you know what I mean? That's a tough thing. They say you can't take opinions from people that you wouldn't want to trade lives with or something like that, whenever it comes to your field or something like that. And everybody's a mental guru all of a sudden. So it's finding the right person, I think, is a bigger deal than maybe just doing it as a whole. Because what if you just got a scam artist in there here's the deal, this is what you need to do? Because eventually it's going to get tested, I would assume.
Well, and every team I thought is starting to do the sports psychologist thing. So if
that's a part of the CBA, I do believe.
Yeah, so if Deshaun Watson brings his performance guy in, is this kind of like a Patriots Alex Guerrero situation where the sports psychologist for the Browns might absolutely fucking hate this guy's guts and everybody that he works with? And that just makes a feud right away for the mental people?
No, I think nowadays it's just kind of all expected.
Yeah.
I think nowadays it's just kind of understood. Like, that's what it felt like whenever I was talking to the people that were in the building at training camp. They're like, no, this is just how it is. Like, this guy's mental coach has this regimen. Like, there's some guys that, like, I think, I don't know if this is at the Colts or another building. It was being told to me, and I sound like Troy here laughing about it, but there's, like, some guys that, like, have a 15-minute all dark, like, I don't want to say like a darkness retreat, but like scheduled into their day every single day that them and their doctor have kind of, their mental coaches kind of put together. And so that's just like prescribed. And they're like, yeah, it's just a part of what him and the doctor have put together. And I'm like, so you guys got to provide the closet for them to go? Is that how it goes? It's like a whole new world. I have no idea what these guys are going through in a modern era with social media and it being right in your face all the time. So I have no clue, but it feels like they are very focused on their mental toughness, which I appreciate, but hopefully it pans out and works out.
That's become a big thing in the NHL. I don't want to get too far off topic, but goalies do this a lot before the game. They go out to the bench and they sit at the ice and they try and visualize and just work their eyes and move all around.
Do they have a coach next to them?
No.
So a little bit
visualizing's great. I have no issue with that. Like, visualizing stuff is great. It's all of it's like there's a lot of great mental coaches and people out there. But the question is, how do you sift through the garbage ones to find the good ones?
And then what if, when you start doing a lot of things, it's like what happens if, some guy, something happens to your guy or you don't have that anymore, then it's like, oh, shit, I didn't get my 15 minutes in the day.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is important, and it's obviously a bigger focus in the world in general, and
which is good,
sports on mental health and, kind of having those different ways to compartmentalize different things. So, I mean, I guess whatever floats your boat. But you heard Troy, and I'm sure it goes for a lot of the, old school throwback guys like, hey, figure
tough.
it out. Figured I have some mental toughness, football life, whatever it is. But, it's different strokes for different folks.
Different era, too. I completely agree with what you're saying about the world having a different view on mental health, which is good news. I think we've played great.
Absolutely.
Because back in the day, it was just like, stop being like that.
Shut
like,
up.
well, actually, I got some real stuff going on. I appreciate us learning that. And also, with the world, with the 2 years of COVID, everybody being in their houses and separated from everything, I mean, there is a lot of mental health conversations. But at some point, when you're a professional athlete, though, like the mental part of it is the separator. Yeah. Like that is what make Kobe, the Mamba mentality, they talk about it. Mentality is, in your head. Michael Jordan, it's like here. Like the guys and women that are at the top of their crafts whenever it comes to competitive things, in here is where they are the strongest. Stronger than everybody. Tough day, who cares? Bounce back. Tough practice, don't want to do it, go through it. Workout in the morning, don't want to do it. I was out last night, who cares? You show up and do it. It's like the mentals of the greats are what separate them from everybody else, and hopefully these mental coaches are able to bring that out of more people. I guess that would be the goal.
Yep.
But also, are all these mental coaches all in the same plan to make you that particular type of human, or are they trying to make you something different? I guess that's a conversation for somebody smarter than me.
Yeah, and I would imagine it's a very fine line to find one of these guys who isn't just, like if you get one of these guys who's just blowing smoke up their ass nonstop and like not really being honest with them, and then so like if you're not playing well, you're really not getting anything out of it because this guy's still just pumping you up, telling you how great you are. Hey, you just got to stay the course, keep doing what you're doing. Everything's going to work out. And then if it doesn't, it's like, you're going to end up being in a much worse spot than you were initially.
Okay, I am looking at the clock. I don't know if you guys have done this since.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see the time?
Yeah.
I do see the time.
So it appears as if those who put the PMS no would be the people that are on the right track.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Congrats to them doing it. Congrats to them doing it.
Yeah, good win.
I think this is just one of those.
It's a gimmick.
Got a lot
It's
of
one his
meetings,
gimmicks.
extra meetings probably.
Well, he's the best player. Well,
They got a big
might have
matchup.
this-
Best player in ball.
Big
right?
matchup. He's got a tough matchup this weekend.
His 15 minutes might be right now, too, where he's just doing nothing.
I see. That's what I'm saying. I think there's still some guys that are
that don't do it.
just a little old school, and
Really?
it feels like Micah is one of those guys. You know what I mean? Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm not saying that with anybody. I think everybody should be striving to be the best version of themselves. I think every athlete should be striving to be the best version of themselves. But I do appreciate the fact that Troy Aikman saw that and couldn't contain himself.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that.
I bet Joe was just kind of had a little smile as Troy was reading it, and Troy probably felt Joe's energy.
Speaking of the coverage, how do we feel about Scott Van Pelt and the boys on Monday Night Countdown?
I thought it was good. I think it's gonna.
I mean, you started out like that, Con, man. Just say what you think.
What?
Whoa, AJ. What do you think, AJ?
I am saying.
I know how Connor thinks. He goes, I thought it was good. We know how he feels.
I
It was
did.
good. What's wrong with it, Connor?
What are you saying, AJ?
I'm saying it was good. I'm saying Connor was trying to sugarcoat it, maybe.
Well, no, I'm not sugarcoating it. I just think they need a couple more reps, and I also think that maybe there's a chance that they were having a little too much fun up there. That can happen sometimes when you're loving it so much that you kind of start joking around, and one guy who maybe is one of the best at doing what he does in the game gets a little ticked off at these funny guys having so much fun around.
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, when they picked who was going to win the Saints and the Panthers game, SVP looked like he was about to blow a gasket. Okay? That's what I'm saying. And if you were to go back and watch it and listen to it, you might pick up on that.
So you're picking up 1 30-second block of that entire thing.
Well, I watched the whole thing. I can't say I listened to the whole thing, but it was on the TV for the entire time leading up to that game, and I know for a fact that when it got towards the end, around 7:02, maybe it was 6:58, SVP was about done with the pregame show for the Saints Panthers. I think maybe he wanted to move on to Browns Pittsburgh.
You know what they need to do? I'm excited for them to be on location every week.
That's what I didn't understand.
Because they were in the studio last night because there was 2 different games, and I think they didn't want to pick or choose or just do it easier. You go to Pittsburgh, though, do that show, it's going to have a lot more energy and environment and everything around them. That's whenever they'll really get going. So the first couple of weeks, they've obviously had to learn each other a little bit. Okay. Sounds like you think they need to learn a little bit about each other as they continue to go on air. But them being live on location is much better.
Have to do it. Just have to do it.
Because I think next week's 2 games as well.
It is. Pick one and go to it. Yep.
Which one? First one, second one?
Well, if those guys want to get home earlier, then go to the first one. That's fine. You can get your flight, get out of there a little bit quicker. But what are the 2 games? I mean,
were they done? Were they done after the first game kicked off? Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah, I don't
maybe
think
it's a
halftime show. I think they went to
Philly and Tampa, and then the Rams and Cincy. I know SVP was doing interviews after the game
from studio.
Yeah,
but that was for his
because
if
they're doing halftime. You can't do.
Well,
can't go to one of them. Right?
I thought they did halftime.
What's that?
I'm pretty sure that they did the halftime.
I would assume they did the halftime.
Yeah, by that point, Pittsburgh Browns was kind of.
SVP was also doing the drop-in update from the other place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey, Carolina Saints game, as I was watching the Browns-Steelers game. They were also doing that double box that a lot of Pittsburghers were not happy about.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of Yinzer saying, I do not give a fuck about a terrible Saints-Panthers game. Get it off of my television. And then there was multi-view on YouTube TV, right? Split screen you were doing?
Yep.
A lot of people did that. So then it was split screen with a split screen.
Yeah, that did piss me off when that happened.
Me too.
The double split.
Ty, you okay? That was getting you a little
No, yeah, it's just like, hey, I mean, there's a reason we're watching this on multi-view. We don't need the other fucking boxes in here, okay? Figure it out, YouTube or ESPN or ABC or whoever this is on. Figure it out.
Yinzers were like, oh, thank you for the update in taking the screen time of a 6-3 game in the NFC South. Ooh. That's what I saw. I don't know how the Browns fans felt. I assume they felt the same exact way. And I don't know if they were doing that for the Saints-Panthers game, for the Steelers-Browns.
I believe they were.
Yeah, they were going back and forth.
I assume the reaction was the exact same out of like the who dat people down there. Like, we don't care about what they're doing.
Those games, they stunk at different times in the game. But I don't think I'm a fan of the 2 games on Monday.
Meaning,
really? I know as a player, look, Monday night was the night where everybody's watching. People that hate you, people that love you, every team, every coach. And now you got 2 games. You got to go back and forth. Yeah. You watching one, you getting tweet updates on the other. Like, just give me one.
I would rather one game on Monday Night Football as well because it keeps it special. I appreciate the fact that they wanted more NFL games on ESPN, though. So, shout out them trying to get that deal done, however they go about doing it. But for me, we had to watch a game this morning back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
It's impossible to watch both. You know what I mean? Actually live. You can have them both on, but you're not actually doing it. It's like it's Monday Night Football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's Monday Night Football. We still got to hold Monday Night Football as Monday Night Football. We got 5 more of them, or 3 more of them this year.
It's always a kick in the testes too when you're watching that Sunday morning and you have all those games, and then it goes to the late window and there's only 2 or 3, and it's just like, hey, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
oh shit,
joining us now, holy hell, future Hall of Famer, absolute freak show on the football field. This past weekend against the Jets, he had 2 sacks and a forced fumble. He's flying all over the place. Wow. He's somehow faster than everybody, stronger than everybody, smarter than everybody. And he's a young man, just 24 years old, hasn't even been paid yet, out of Penn State, all pro. Dallas Cowboy, Micah Parsons.
Yeah. Yo, what's good, fellas?
I want to let you know, Micah, there was a little bit of doubt if you were going to come on the show today. Out of a lot of us, I am pumped that you're here. Thank you for joining us, dude.
Yeah, don't worry. Never no doubt on mine.
Okay, good. I'm happy to hear that I was on your side because on my side, there was a lot of doubt. We were worried, but we were excited to chit-chat with you. Let's dive in. Obviously, we're listening to your podcast with Bleacher Report. You're crushing it.
Yeah.
Way to go. I'm happy you're doing that. But we heard you break down about how this is the third year in the system, third year in Quinn's system. You feel mature. Your team is flying around more than ever. This year feels different for you guys than the past couple of years, Micah? For real?
Yeah, it feels completely different. I feel like there's a complete 360 turnaround. Because it's hard when you first bring in a bunch of free agent guys and you sign them to 2-year deals and things like that. You never know how things are going to turn out. But I think the first year we were like, okay, we could really fit in the system. The second year was like everyone grew. Everyone felt like, okay, now we got the ins and outs. We still learn how to play together. But I think this year, man, coming in the camp after camp, we was like, man, we know we're capable of we all know how each other play. We all know what each other like. Like the guys is adding Gilly, the safety, and bro, it's looking dangerous right now. I can't even lie to you.
Yeah, I'd say. I'm happy to hear you guys thought the same going into the season because watching you guys has been fantastic. Go ahead, AJ.
I'm curious what it's like to play for D coordinator Dan Quinn. We see him up in the booth with his backwards hat going crazy. Romo's doing voiceovers on what he thinks he might be saying. Like, how fun is it to play for him, and what does he do to, I guess, maybe simplify things or just have you guys playing so fast? Like you're all every play, everybody's flying to the ball.
Yeah, one thing about Quinn, he's gonna make it real nice and simple for us. I mean, even in camp, he brought out, he brought some of the top guys into the room and was like, what do we like? What do we don't like? What can we throw out? What does everyone feel comfortable with? Where do we want to go with this? And, it's just all about us. And he don't care about nothing. I feel like he really lives God, family, and just us. So I think that's one thing that I give credit to. He just doesn't, he don't care if it's on him or whatever it is. He just wants us to play fast, and he simplifies it very much. And, every week he got some new stuff where he just talking about the ball. And if you talk about the ball enough, you're going to get that thing.
Yeah, and he has emotion and passion. I assume you guys love watching this. He wants to win just as bad as you guys do. And whatever you think about your career, especially in, Quinn's defense, and he got some head coaching opportunities, and he said, I'll stay here and keep doing this with the backwards hat on. He knows you guys can be historic. When we watch the highlights of you, is it him putting you in a position or you just being faster than every human on the football field? Aside from game one, where you were playing Mike, I think the transition into the NFL has been so seemingly easy for you. Have you found it to be the same way?
I just kind of found my way. I always felt like, I would say it's a little bit of both. He kind of puts me in these positions and he's like, hey, let's see what you can do. And I'm like, all right, now just watch this. He challenged me and pushes me. So I never want to let him down because, I really feel like he's really like an uncle to me. But, coming into the league, it's always challenging. But I always had the mindset, man, I got to get better. I can't fail. And, I always put that in the back of my mind. So I feel like I always go harder than a lot of other people.
Yeah. You're an old school guy. You feel that way? You're an old school type football player?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm an old school football player. And I definitely feel like I bring a lot more passion to the game than a lot of guys. A lot of guys are just here just to be here. They're happy to be there. Versus me, where, man, I feel like, I have so much gratitude for the game. Gratitude for life, and just thankful for everything I got and where I'm going.
Bro, they've been talking about you like Hall of Fame since week 3 of your rookie year. How do you stay, I don't want to say humble, but off seasons? How do you continue to want to grow? It's just how you're raised or how you're made? Because they were crowning you, your fourth game pretty much is here it is. This is the fucking next one. You've lived up to it, and you haven't had really a drop off. It seems like this year, after all the hype and everything, it's is Micah still going to continue? You've gotten better somehow. How and why is that the case? You think?
I'm just so hungry, and I really put my faith into the Lord, man. And it's easy to get complacent and say, hey, you're here, so you don't have to get any better. And what I want to do and where I want to go.
Hey, that mentality's not normal, bro. Congrats on having it, and congrats on executing and exercising it. Rest in peace to Kobe. Darius has a question for you.
Yeah, Michael, Pat talked about you being a dog from day one. Coming in, conversation like if it was one with you and Quinn about moving primarily to edge, which is obviously probably the second most important position after quarterback.
Yeah, actually, when I came into rookie minicamp OTAs, he had me do a little because he knew I was like a pass rushing linebacker when he drafted me. He was like, man, that was kind of like the hedge. Once the quarterbacks were taken, that's the reason why we took you, because you weren't just a linebacker. You were a guy that we saw blitzed a lot and won. So I want to see you do a little rushing. And when he saw it, he said, man, how'd you do that? Like, I was like, man, I don't know. It just felt natural to me. It just seemed right. He was like, I just want to see you keep doing it. And he kind of just kept, just feeding it to me. Like, he kept putting me against some backup guys, some 3 guys. And he's like, you know what, you're beating the hell out of them. Let's put you against Tyron and LC. Yep. And, they kind of beat the hell out of me a little bit. And I was like, man, I started learning from them guys. It's like, man, how do I do this? How do I do that? And then eventually, Quinn was like, you could really be really good at this. We know what this is like your superpower. I think you should grow in this. And, he's like, this other stuff you'll learn, but he's like, this right here, this is special. And I think, he just trusted that once he's seen it, he just knew.
Yeah, I'd say. And now you have a podcast called The Edge on Bleacher Report. I believe everybody can't wait to watch you take snaps. Go ahead, AJ.
Do you ever care where you line up pre-snap? We know you can move around Dan Quinn. I'm sure every single week he's just dreaming up different ways of how he can get you to affect the quarterback. Does it matter to you where you line up or what you're doing?
Nah, for me, I don't care if I'm left, right, middle, wherever the coach want me to line up, wherever it's set up to play, because I really like to rush all over so that way they can identify me. I feel like that's really been a difference this year. I've been over the guards, I've been over the centers, I've been over the right side, the left side. So it's hard for teams to get an edge on me where I'm at. And instead of some guys where they just want to strictly left up on the left side or strictly just want to stay on the right side, and it's easier to find. And I told coach, I was like, man, I'm not going for that this year. I'm not staying on the right side. I need to be moving around. Like, I don't want these guys to constantly be finding me. They got to come look for me. They need to game plan more. And that was like one of my things in my extra interviews, and so far it's been great.
Yeah, it's working out, I think. I love the fact that Quinn also is like, yeah, bub, we'll do whatever. I've seen you on the sideline a couple plays, though, too. Are we resting? What is that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Haven't we seen you out there? Have we seen you on the sideline?
Yeah, that's true. That's not my call, but we got so much depth. And, it's hard when you got so many guys like Sam Williams, Dorrance Armstrong, and you got Dante Fowler. We got such a high position group that's like you can constantly keep guys fresh, keep guys going, keep guys in the flow of the game. And so far with the rotations, it's been pretty successful in how much we've been dominating. So I don't think they're going to go away from it. And you always remember it's a long season ahead, and we thinking about Vegas, baby. So, so I think there's always a part in that too.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to hear that you're okay with it, because I was watching them like, we got an alien saying it. Why?
Put him in.
I didn't say I was okay with it, but I understand.
Yeah, but as soon as you get back in, you get a sack, you break. And then that on all fours crawl. Awesome. Hey, you're moving, bro. You are moving on that. You work on that?
Yeah, I've been working on it all I can. So, like, I was like, this year coming in, I was like, yo, I hope y'all know, like, I'm like possessed this year. Like, I hope everyone's ready to work. I hope everyone's ready for this line mentality. Like, I be going around the locker room growling at people. Like, I'm out there jumping around. I'm growling at Dak before, and Cam. Like, I hope y'all ready for this shit, bro. Like, I'm gonna kill you today. Like, I'm hunting you. Like, I'm letting everyone know. Like, so when they see it, they're like, man, like, this dude's really nuts. Like, especially some of the rookies. It's funny them see him coming in. It's like, bro, you really like that? I was like, you ain't really seen nothing yet. Like, he's like, you really a possessed lion? I'm like, yeah, bro. Like, I'm crazy. Like, I'm throwed off. Like,
these kids coming into the NFL going, what the fuck?
Yeah.
They got an actual animal in here. Have you seen this guy? He's on all fours.
He's barking.
This guy's running and barking and growling at people.
Yeah.
And he's faster, stronger, more agile than literally everybody else on the field. Ty has a question for you, Micah.
Yeah, Micah, we had J.J. Watt on, and he was talking about the play from last week with Myles Garrett, where he's kind of crossing up in front of the center, and then boom, just slips right around him for I don't think he actually got the sack, but just completely blew up the play. And he was saying how, like, some days you're just in the zone, and it doesn't matter what you do. You're going to do whatever you want to do out there. You're one of those guys who, whenever we watch you, like the expectation is just like, all right, he's going to have multiple sacks today, or he's going to have a defensive touchdown, or he's going to have a bunch of hurries or whatever. Do you always just feel like you're in the zone for 60 minutes every single Sunday?
Yeah, man, and it's hard to even tell my family this because they're always like worried about me. They're like, "What's wrong?" Like even the day before, I go so quiet and like I'm just so focused, so locked in. They're like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm focused. Like, I'm ready to hunt. Like I'm into my zone. Or like I'm going to my mental space. Like I close my eyes. Like I really dive into such a battle. Like I'm preparing for war. I'm preparing to kill. I'm preparing to hunt. Like it's a space that it's a scary place that I don't think a lot of people are willing to go. So when I say them outrageous things on Twitter, when I say looking in the eye, looking death in the eye is a scary place, like I really mean that. Like when I see my offensive tackles align for me, I want them to stop avoiding eye contact. Like look me in the eye. Like I want you to know, like this is like for real. Like this is like serious.
Hey, you got to start wearing those red contacts. Yeah. You know those red contacts that guys used to wear? Who was that?
Van and Bosch.
Van and Bosch. He used to have those red contacts in where it was like, as soon as you look at his eyes, it's like, oh, this guy's a psychopath.
Yeah, devil.
Yeah, this guy's the actual devil on the other side. I don't know if that's what you need to go with as opposed
No, I don't want to be the devil.
Yeah.
I want to be like
animal, yeah. So maybe we get like the cat slits.
Yeah.
Like the
snake.
Like maybe the snake eyes. Yeah. Something to think about just next year, as you evolve, as you continue to get better. Is there guys around the league that you watch and study film of, or is there guys you chat with around the league as pass rushers?
Yeah, so I chat a lot with Max Crosby. I chat a lot with Vaughn. I actually sent them clips like, "Hey, what do you think of this guy?" I chat with my guy. Dang, why am I blacking out on this?
Wow, because you're in the zone. Yeah, you're an animal. Yeah, fuck this guy. Yeah.
And a guy that I love to watch is Myles Garrett because in terms of just pass rush and what he does, definitely they move him around a lot and how they use him. But the thing that I like about Myles is like I feel like he kind of gets the same treatment as I get. Constant double teams, constant slides. I think when you talk about like disruption, I think he's like right there, tit for tat, and like the type of presence that he gets from opposing offenses.
Hell yeah, and I assume he's doing the same for you. Go ahead, AJ.
What's your relationship like with Jerry Jones, the owner? And I would assume you're going to ask him for about $1 billion.
Oh yeah, congrats on that, brother. Congrats on getting $1 billion deal. Woo! Way to go.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
No, that's Mahomes. He's the one that gets $1 billion deals. We're all just living in Mahomes world. But no, me and Jerry's super cool, man. I never seen an owner take care of his players like the way he does. Anytime I call him up or anytime I need to get a hold of him, he finds a way to reach back out to me. I know he's a busy man, and he takes care of me and my family. Like, if you find out my mom's at a game, he makes sure she's in safe, make sure she's set up right, and he does the utmost love and respect for me and my family. So I couldn't be more appreciative.
Have you ever chatted with the AI Jerry Jones that's at the stadium allegedly? Have you seen that thing?
No, I haven't seen nothing like that.
Dude, it's real. They gave us a video. It's him sitting down on like a screen, and he goes, the reason why AT&T is and he's answering questions so that when he dies, he can still be in charge forever. Yeah. It's an incredible there he is right there. That's AI Jerry Jones. You can ask him any question, Micah. You should go up to AI and say, all right, I saw what Bosa made. Just add another 10 to that. And then AI Jerry Jones will say, of course you give Micah Parsons that type of deal. Bang, we're off and running. The way the team operates, though, the way the Dallas Cowboys is so much different than everywhere else. All eyes are on you guys every single weekend. And the guy who's the quarterback for the team, just like you, is chatted about every single game, every single play. What is the defense's relationship with Dak? What is Dak like in the locker room that we can't see, behind the curtain a little bit? And when Diggs called him a bitch, is that how you guys feel about him on the day-to-day as quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys?
Nah, that's just that dog mentality. That's that anger and aggression that you bring out, challenging your teammates. You know how it gets.
Hell yeah.
Especially when you're really going at it each and every week, and they're kind of going back and forth. Dak's trying to challenge him, throwing it at him with CD, and challenging him. And Trayvon's coming up with big plays. He's like, keep trying me, and things like that. So it's all love, And Dak's just a guy, bro. He's a guy that just likes to have fun. Dak's like a big kid. He loves outdoors. He's like playing pickleball and just competing, bro. So Dak's just one of the guys. You can never look at Dak any other type of way because with him, it's all love and with good intent. I don't think Dak has a bad bone in his body. He takes care of the guys. He does really cool stuff for us. So we all love and appreciate Dak for what he does for our team, and he leads. He does everything the right way. Always practicing hard. Always doing the right thing in the locker room, focus and dialed in. So you can't really say one bad thing about the man.
You a pickleball player?
I am.
How are you? Pretty good? I bet you're a pretty good player.
I'm a world-class athlete. I tell everyone this. No matter if it's basketball, pickleball, volleyball, I'm a world-class athlete.
Any sports you're not great at? Tennis probably a bad one, huh?
Golf.
Golf.
Power, agility, and stuff cannot save you in a golf course.
It actually affects you worse. It hurts you. Yeah, it's a problem. It's a sport to know, though, especially because you're going to be a billionaire.
Right.
So much money out there. Yeah, you'll go get it. Tone has a question for you.
Mike, speaking of being a world-class athlete, I see you come off the edge and I see your agility, I see your power, and all I can think about is you with the ball in your hands. And then you see what Travis Hunter's doing both ways in college. Have you gone up to Big Mike yet and told him that you need to get some touches on the offensive side of the ball, maybe a couple tosses or something like that?
Yeah, Big Mike actually let me get a couple scout team reps at tight end.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, he might not let y'all know that. I probably shouldn't have spilled the tea.
No, it's good news. That's Big Mike still got his fastball. Yeah. Is that something that
well, Mike's super cool, man. I be telling even on the launch days, I do pat and goes with the receivers. I said, Mike, you see me tracking this thing? He's like, yeah, it's a gift. I see you have it. I just keep trying to show him glimpses of whatever opportunities I can get to let him know I'm trying to touch this ball in the NFL.
Let's go. Vrabel, J.J. Watt.
Yep.
I mean, there's
Fridge.
The Fridge obviously had touchdown. There's a storied history of defensive players who are freak athletes scoring touchdowns in the biggest moment. Why not Big Mike? Let's talk about Big Mike. How's he been this year now that he's calling the offense? Is it a different Mike McCarthy? What do you see from him as the head coach of the Cowboys with coming into the season? His seat was the hottest in the league. Talking about now you guys are undefeated, top of the world. What have you seen from Mike and learned from Mike about this year?
Yeah, I think it's been the same with Mike. Since I first got here, he's been a guy who showed the utmost respect for all his players, take care of his guys, find ways for us to recover, find ways for us to get better, and pushes us to the limit. And, he doesn't cross some boundaries, a big family-oriented guy. I mean, he's a truly great coach and a great guy. I would actually hate to ever see anyone like him go. I think he's more nice than anyone other coach in the NFL. And I think sometimes people tend to take that for granted because how nice and genuine he is. So, that's type. And there's really no changes from him. He's just the same guy. I promise. He's the one. Even when I came into the league and I was like, dang, we get this. He's like, yeah, I've never got this. Even free agents guys this is unheard of, the things that Mike does.
Okay, so let's talk about it. I've heard his motivational speeches are second to none. Smashing watermelons, giving all that stuff. He's still delivering the juice, still delivering the heat, even though he's calling play.
He finds different ways. I say, when Coach Mike wants to talk, it's very different. It's definitely nowhere near where you're thinking that he's gonna go, and he goes there. We just learned about the Indian tribe and what it meant and how we should all be a family and things like that. So, Carpe Omnia. Yeah, he goes all the way, deep dives. He researches very well for his.
Yeah, well, he's got to reach you guys. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sounds like on the offense, he's got the fastball. The defense is flying around. Motivational speeches are great. How about you off the field? You a super diet guy, nutritious? You weigh in all your food before you eat it? What is your life like there?
Yeah, I don't weigh in on my food, but this is the first year I actually got a chef and was like, man, I'm gonna really dial in on what I eat, and I definitely feel a huge difference in the whole thing.
Yeah, the inflammation in your joints. They always say when you eat better, it's you're less in pain, you're less sore, you feel faster. All that's real.
Yeah, all that's true story. Drinking sodas. I used to drink Dr. Peppers and Popeyes Saturday before games.
Oh yeah, so good. So good.
Yeah, I used to.
So good. So you jock now? We got to sit. You have always you shredded?
Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty shredded right now.
Were you last year when you were Popeyes and Dr. Peppers on Saturdays?
I wouldn't say I was shredded. I was a guy that was barely making weight. Guy who was edging it.
Oh, you're a fan.
And then I'm I know I'm good.
It's a better life now, huh?
It is. It's the way better life.
What are we eating today? Got anything good from the chef? What's on the menu?
It's Taco Tuesday, man.
Hey,
you know what time it is.
I I love that. All right, we enjoy the hell out of your off day. We appreciate you making time, and good luck the rest of the way. And also, the podcast is awesome, man. Keep going. The league's better with you in it.
Hey, I appreciate that, bro. I gotta keep grinding, keep getting better, and hopefully get some action just like you one day, man.
Hey, it's gonna be a lot better than whatever we get, pal. You're Michael Parsons.
I don't know, Pat. You doing pretty fucking well.
Yeah. Amen. We all are. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Parsons. Thank you, buddy. He's a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dog.
He's a dude.
Incredible.
Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to keep striving for perfection. Kobe, if he's able to keep going, I'm going to keep going. It's like, oh, okay, this guy has that mentality. Now he's just getting a chef. He feels faster than he's ever been. He's only getting started, it feels like, D-Bud.
Yeah, you've seen it. Like you said, from game 3, 4, people who've been around football saw it. And for you to have that mindset to just, keep getting hungrier and hungrier, finding different ways. We just talked about trying to find an edge. He's coming into a year where, first 2 years, All-Pro, Pro Bowl. Like, how can I get better? What can I do differently? And he's already doing that at a young age. So, I can't wait to watch this guy continue to evolve.
Before we do everything DB with our guy Darius J. Butler,
Yes,
breaking
sir.
down some good D.
Hell yeah,
that good D.
Oh, that good
The best
D.
D.
Ain't that right, AJ? They got that good D coming right up.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Defense.
What are you talking about?
Sounds like it's a bit inappropriate. I can't wait to hear him talk about defense, though.
There we go, AJ.
Thanks, hero.
Yeah, Jesus.
Back to
What a
football.
horse's ass.
Yeah, someone woke
Thanks,
up on
hero.
the prick side of the bed.
Jeez. I don't even want to say it.
No wonder.
Because you're
Aaron said-
negative
What's
energy.
the read? What's the read about?
Don't worry about
It's
it.
not just a read. It's a couple bullet points about the greatest ticket buying platform on planet Earth and the moon. Okay?
SeatGeek.
Yes.
Bang. Look at that. You're taking the words off the paper out of my brain, out of my mouth, because you know, and everybody that's ever shopped on SeatGeek knows. Because SeatGeek is a company that has survived a stoppage of events for 2 years. You know why? Because their company is so damn great. And they don't catfish you. No. The ticket you buy is the ticket you get. Now, they do tell you if the ticket you're buying is good or bad, though. They'll have like a little red dot and say, hey, there's a bad price for this ticket. If you need it, I guess here it is. But there's other places around the internet that have it better. They don't have a green dot. They're like, hey, good price. Good ticket, good thing, buy it now. They've taken care of us for 6 years now.
Yeah.
They've taken care of the world for, I forget how old they are, I think like 10 years old. They are an incredible company who we are very thankful for. They're the ones that presented today's show. They're the ones that have bought this ticker, obviously. They were our first partner whenever I retired and was at Barstool. They were our first partner whenever we went to ESPN. We love SeatGeek. We appreciate SeatGeek. And right now, 15% off all football tickets, whether you're a returning customer or not, whenever you use the promo code
PAT15
at checkout. Shout out to SeatGeek. We love the hell out of them. Tickets are a great gift, especially if you're getting 15% off. Great gift for somebody, a friend, hubby, wife, brother, mom. They got tickets for everything. Football tickets are 15% off, but tickets for everything, best prices on the internet. We appreciate SeatGeek, and we appreciate the fact that we get to get better and smarter when it comes to that good D.
Hell yeah.
A good defense.
That good D.
Great defense.
Love that
That
good D.
great
Oh, slinging that good D all around the NFL.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Everything DB with Darius J. Butler.
Let's go. We got week 2. I got my Orlowski notepad here. Let's see what play we starting off with.
Yeah, my thing died, so somebody in the back's going to have to run this. Let's go, Brucey
Bruce,
boy.
Bruce. And we talked about Burrow's struggles. I believe it came from the toxic table earlier this week that he's been on the same page, right on the same page in the second half of this game with T. Higgins. Not quite on the same page yet with Jamar Chase. But this is Joe Burrow down in the red area where he's been fantastic since he started his career.
Yep.
You'll see Geno Stone kind of pick on him here.
That's a fake name.
Geno Stones?
It's not a real name.
Geno Stone, 2'6", safety for the Ravens. So down at the bottom, you got Jamar Chase, obviously. You got the safety over the top, so you're showing like a two-shell look. So quarterback-wise, you're like, all right, that guy's probably going to be gone. But as a quarterback, you still want to at least look that way to control that backside safety. He doesn't. So now take your eyes off of Geno Stone for a second. Up here in the slot, T. Higgins.
Ooh.
Second receiver, we count outside in 1-2. T. Higgins is going to run like an indie route and then take it vertically. And Geno Stone is just going to read the eyes of Joe Burrow. Perfect, Pat.
Thank you.
That's a good route.
It is a good route. Great route. You run it on Madden, works all the time. But Geno Stone, this is not Madden. He reads those eyes. Joe Burrow never sees them.
Got stoned.
And, just makes a great play on the ball. That's obviously the most important part about DB, the finish in the play. So just reading this from the beginning, hit play, boom, there we go. once again, and Jamar Chase had his guy beat. He had space down there if you look. But Joe Burrow, you'll see it better from the back copy. His eyes stayed front side the entire time, and like a good safety does, reading those eyes of a quarterback. And once again, typically not something you see from Joe Burrow. He hasn't been this easy to read over the early part of his career, but boom, take the snap, and his eyes go right there. Quick peek to his left, and it's there the whole time, and that backside safety's going to feast on it. You saw it last week with Jesse Bates. Did the same thing to a young quarterback, Bryce Young, and now this is a veteran at this point getting picked on the same way.
Are we worried about Joe Burrow?
Yeah, why is he easy to read now?
I mean, I'm worried. You know, he became the highest paid player in the league, so we've seen him go to a Super Bowl. We've seen him be obviously phenomenal on the college level.
White parties.
So long-term,
his playoff numbers too. They're being called into question this year.
Commercials.
Long-term wise, we took a vote last week. I don't know if it's still the same.
You guys sound like some hating ass.
We all said
Kirk Cousins graphic. You remember it? We talked about it.
You're right.
We all said aye last week. Are we out now on Burrow already?
No. Just confused.
I'm not out on him yet either. But we saw he tweaked the injury. That's not going to make it any better. But right now it's getting picked on. Surprising to see.
Yikes.
Now we got the Cowboys here. Zach Wilson, another guy who's been getting picked on kind of since he stepped foot in the league. And his defense, I mean, they're already tough. 5 points per game in the first 2 games. Only gave up 10 points in the first 2. You don't want to get behind in this defense because you got Michael Parsons, you got DeMarcus Lawrence, and the rest of these guys hunting. Once you get in this position when these guys are just hunting, you know they're going to be dropping back, passing the ball, not in a good position. Right here, we're in an empty formation, but you got these 2 guys in the C area, so it's almost like a max protection set. But I want you to keep your eyes on this guy back here, former first-round pick, Malik Hooker. A lot of studs on this defense. He doesn't get talked about enough. He got paid this offseason as well.
Yeah.
What's that?
He was a Colt.
Yes, former Colt, top 15 pick.
He's a Buckeye.
He's a Pittsburgh guy.
Towards ACL, I believe his rookie year on a low hook. But just watch, you see where he's starting right now. Watch the range that he has on this field. Watch the field, the ground that he covers. And once again, deep post safety, reading the eyes of that quarterback. Because once again,
no way.
Holy shit.
I mean, and this is why this guy was drafted out of Ohio State, top 15. A lot of people compared him to Ed Reed with the type of field that he covered. And once again, and you look up top, Trevon Diggs got beat by Garrett Wilson with this double move, which is something that, people have been talking about. Hey, he's greedy, he jumps plays. He's beat. That's a touchdown if Hooker doesn't come from the other side of the field, outside of the hash to make that play. And he probably doesn't make the play long way. And you'll see it from the back copy again. He probably doesn't make this play if Zach Wilson at least holds him in the middle of that field. You see quarterbacks a lot of times at least hold that free safety to control them and then go left. Big Ben was one of the best I played against that did it.
Hell yeah.
But Zach Wilson, he maybe takes a quick peek middle, but he's there the whole time. The whole time, boom. And you got a double move over there, so you expect Garrett Wilson probably create some separation and win. Give him something this way and then go there late. I think that would have helped.
Oh, no. Is there team chemistry issues?
That's not good. Got left hanging.
Well, he's got to thank our Lord and Savior first.
Jay's trash.
Oh, I thought he was pointing at Big Mike.
Do you think Zach Wilson throwing 3 picks was more of a product of Dallas being very good, or does he still absolutely stink at football?
I mean, it's a combination. You got he stunk. He stunk since he's come in. And now, A-Rod took all the reps going into it, so he's still figuring it out with his coordinator. You heard Dano talking about that relationship. He stunk, though. The product is what it is. I think Shannon Sharp said he couldn't play dead in a horror movie.
Yep.
I think was the line. So it's tough. But playing against Dallas, that's probably going to be the best defense he sees all year, especially being down, 20 points in the fourth quarter. That's not a good place for any quarterback to be.
What do teams think when they're playing Zach Wilson? And also, in this tape, are these dudes open a lot and he's just missing them, or?
There are guys. I mean, you got good receivers out there. Lazard, you got Garrett Wilson, who is one of the best young receivers in the league. Guys are open, but once you get behind, Zach Wilson isn't, and a lot of quarterbacks are this way. You're not trying to be back behind a couple scores where you're dropping back, throwing that ball.
Yeah.
But guys are open, and it's just a matter of finding them and hitting them. That's the tough part. And if you're getting hit, if you got Michael Parsons out there, with them eyes, that ain't a good.
Yeah, what's his? He's a psycho.
Yeah, trying to kill people.
I love that.
When you started talking about it, you saw it kind of in his eyes.
Yeah,
oh shit,
his eyes.
That's a nice fucking fish.
Yeah.
Big fucking eyes, but a nice fucking fish. That is literally what he looked like when he started talking about being a psycho. It's like, damn, here we go. Terry McLaurin, what's he doing to a defense?
He's a dog, and this was the guy that I was hoping we got in Indy on this offseason. We did not.
Close,
the Commanders
though.
figured, it was close. Like we thought at least.
Almost had him.
Yeah, but they figured out a way to keep him in D.C.
You did, remember?
But right here, we got a 4x1 set, so that's 4.
Feels like we were not close to ever.
No.
Yeah, I think we were just kind of
With AR, though.
speaking into existence.
Yeah, we were certainly trying our best. Loud.
Guys are going to want to play with AR.
You're right.
For sure.
So right here we got four up and to the left on defense. We got a quarter situation, so a split safety look. Down, and this is going to be a common thing with this play and the next play, those post over routes. We saw a ton of them last year. From the left side, Dotson is going to kind of run an over route. The number 2 receiver is going to run a 7 route. That's up top. Yep, there we go. Number 2 receiver is kind of going to run a 7 route, which is going to hold that backside safety's eyes. Down here on the bottom, Terry McLaurin is going straight post. And this front side safety, I believe, is Justin Simmons. Once you have 4 away from you as a safety, just like you saw with Geno Stone, you're trying to, and Jordan Whitehead with his pick last week as well, you're always trying to go back and find some work and still something coming from that backside. But when you have Terry McLaurin, you got to be aware of your personnel. That should be priority number 1 for that safety over there. It was not here. Sam Howell, I mean, he's gotten sacked 10 times his first 2 games, but he's been dialing up, obviously, 2-0.
Wow.
And that's a hell of a ball. That's conviction. That's confidence. As a quarterback, that's what you want to see. You'll see him manipulate the pocket back here and step into this throw, make this throw. And that's a read. You trust it. Whoa. And what Terry McLaurin has been.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Look at that.
If you
that view right there. Are you
if you
serious?
pause that on the catch, and that, I mean, that's the confidence you want in your receiver. Terry McLaurin, since being in the league, has been one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver at the point of that point of attack when that ball's in the air. It's 3 guys. This is one of those things you just throw at the Megatron. He coming down with it. 170 has been that.
What
deal.
a ball.
That was a dart.
Yeah. That's a ball that's high. That backside safety did a pretty decent job getting back there because the front side safety should be there, which was Simmons. The corner was over the top and outside, which he will be as a quarters corner.
Spin it.
But and Ron Rivera's been seeing this in practice for a while now. Now we're seeing it. Sam Howell.
No, Ron was not. He did not see it.
He was sleeping.
Yeah, this is
pooped his pants on.
D-Bart, you mentioned it. You mentioned his knack like in the pocket. Look at him just naturally just get away from the pressure, no big deal, stays calm, and then pulls the trigger. Man.
Yeah, and that's something you know with young quarterbacks. You know, if you're getting beat up, you're getting hit in that pocket, that can mess with your confidence. That can mess with what you're seeing down the field. You start looking at that rush. But Sam Howell, even with being sacked, I think he got sacked 4 times this game, maybe 6 the first game. For him to still have that confidence, keeping his eyes down the field and making these throws.
What a laser.
I think he will.
What a laser.
To get better, man.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a dude. He's definitely a dude for sure.
Is this a new thing this year? Are we putting teams that lose on everything DB, or what's going on here?
Who lost?
The Broncos.
The Commanders. It was Terry McLaurin play.
Yeah,
okay, so we weren't.
That was bad D.
That was bad D. Right? The first two were good D.
Oh, what's that? They were what?
This is
Say
bad
it,
D.
AJ.
Go ahead.
Bad D.
Yeah.
But the first 2.
Sorry, we're about that good D.
First 2 is good D.
Ain't that right, AJ?
Always good D.
No.
Oh, wow. Look at you turning the corner.
Got to be rocked up. You can be rocked up to play good D.
Bingo.
Sometimes.
That's right. Happy we're moving you, too, as you're giving your D takes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Hey, here we go. Same thing. So, alumni section.
Is this good D or bad D?
This is bad D. This
Oh!
was a big.
ED.
We want to sling good D around here.
Big completion from Lamar to Zay Flowers. Lamar had a much better, much cleaner game. He was seeing the field well. He was confident in his throws. He was making his throws. Zay Flowers, once again, had a fantastic afternoon. Now, this is a route, once again, that we see a lot of times. A lot of things in the NFL you're going to see over and over and over. And a lot of times in the same part of the field. You got Patrick Ricard. You got Mark Andrews in there kind of tight. You got a 3-by-1 set right now, and it's going to shift. You'll see this post safety. Now they're going to shift and flip the formation to the opposite side. Now the communication comes now. Okay, for this post safety, if you get this over route, which you're going to get at the bottom of the screen, so he's going to run towards the middle of the field, and then up top, Zay Flowers is going to run a post route. If that safety vacates that middle of the field and dives down on that over route, Lamar Jackson's read is to go up top on that post. Now, Zay Flowers, smaller receiver, but once again, another great receiver when it comes to point of attack when that ball is in the air. So you see him stem that receiver outside, Now this backside corner, if you pause it, Pat, once he passes, so this was communicated pre-snap. This was part of communicating in meetings. Hey, if we get this set and we get this over post, free safety. You take this over route, and this backside corner here is going to climb and try to get to Zay Flowers. And once again, because the quarterback is never going to see this backside guy. You saw it with Burrow in this same game. So that's the only player that can help that corner up top who's an outside leverage. He almost gets there, but once again, just like that Sam Hall ball, this is a ball right on the money and a big-time player making a big-time play.
That's a sweet.
Zay Flowers is a guy.
He's a dude.
That's a sweet coverage if it works, though.
He's a dude. Yeah, I mean, if it works. That's obviously if it fits, we'd all be drunk. But he got there close. Here we go.
Great ball.
Boom.
Freaking dot.
And over the
Zay
years,
ran a good route though too, D-Bat, didn't he? Because if he creeps any more, towards the hash, that ball might get picked. Like he stayed on the numbers too for most of it.
Yeah, if we go back to the wide copy, you'll see that stem that Zay Flowers get. And this is the difference between, good receivers and okay receivers. And this is a young guy already knowing this, already having the feel for these routes. You'll see the leverage up top. Actually, you saw it right there. If you rewind it, I didn't see that earlier. But you'll see the communication after they flip this formation between that corner and that safety. He's giving them that signal like, hey, if my guy goes across, you're going to take him and I'm going to climb. But they actually got it flipped. And you saw them flip the formation. So maybe they anticipated or maybe they put it on film the opposite way before. But watch this route up top. He's going to stem him outside and then go kind of skinny, more of a skinny post because if he flattens it more, that backside corner gets there. And once again, a great ball from Lamar.
That's genius stuff, though. That's football IQ stuff. Realizing, right? Zay, that's from Zay knowing that, because everybody has this route on paper. Okay, Zay, here's what you're running.
Yep.
But it's the intricacies of how you run it that set up the leverage and also keep this guy out of it. I mean, keeping this guy out of it is a big deal in this particular coverage.
And these are the small things that people will look at a receiver or look at somebody and say, hey, man, this guy was drafted first, second round. He's big, he's fast, he's this, he's that. Why is he on the field? Why isn't he getting these reps? And these are the little things that separate players at any position, but wide receivers in this example, just stemming it, having the patience. And now the quarterback knows that's helping the quarterback too, because if he flattens it, the quarterback probably leads him a little more that way. And he throws him into that corner. But, I mean, look at that ball,
Look how
man.
clean the pocket was, too. There was – Lamar could have sat there for
Lamar standing up proud in that pocket. Yeah, he felt comfortable.
Are the Ravens?
Ravens are a squad.
Feels like it.
Again,
they're a real deal.
You got Patrick Ricard back there who's basically an extra offensive lineman.
Awesome.
Not worried at all about that pass rush. Boom.
Extra quarterback.
And look at that ball, man.
Bam. 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 Bad D, good balls.
Yeah.
So he has some bad D, has
That's
some
a
good
tough
D.
combo.
Yeah.
Some call it the Irish curse. It's true.
That's hilarious.
Hey,
we appreciate the hell out of you.
Baby, keep it,
That was a good D. Couple times, and a bad D.
Yep.
Couple times. We appreciate it. Hell of a Tuesday here. Tomorrow's big day. We got Jason Kelsey tomorrow.
Nice.
Wow.
Who else do we have tomorrow? Do we?
JJ.
JJ.
Yep.
Chris Carter, I believe, is coming on the show tomorrow. AQ Shipley will be here tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
And also a play that that was just shown back here that we will certainly break down where there's a submarine quarterback playing in college football.
Yep.
He takes that thing from the hip and throws deep balls with it. It's cornhole football.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that tomorrow. That's from Long Island. You need to check that out. AJ, anything to say before we get the hell out of here on this glorious Tuesday?
I think I'm good, but it's a good tease for the show tomorrow. You get plenty of people coming back.
Yeah, that's a good. You're going to want to see that.
Yeah.
You're going to want to see the sidearm. You're going to want to hear Jason Kelsey.
Yep.
You're going to want to hear J.J. White. AQ Shipley, Chris Carter, Darius Butler's here. AJ's here. We'll take some phone calls tomorrow. We got this thing back up working. 1-833-433. Yeah, 3663.
Yep.
Is that the number?
4-6.
432. 1-833-432-3663.
You're in the ballpark.
1-833-4 All right, we'll take some phone calls tomorrow. We'll have a lot of good stuff. We can't thank you enough. Remember, on Friday, we're going to be in South Bend at the Game Day set. Shout out to Game Day, by the way. I guess it was like 3 million viewers or something.
Yeah. Nice.
This past weekend in Colorado.
That's a big number.
It's pretty big. It's pretty big.
A lot of people. A lot of people.
It's the second biggest September show they've ever had or something like that.
Love that.
Something like that. Wow. Because as the college football season goes on, obviously more storylines, more hype, more build, more blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Best September episode since 2010. Third best September episode ever. Final hour, 3 million viewers. 400th headgear. The Rock, averaging 2.26 for the whole 3 hours. Pretty solid program. Thank you to the people in Boulder for showing up with us.
Oh, yeah.
And shout out to the Fox people, having people around our set trying to send them to the Fox set. That was happening.
Oh.
Gronk's giving high fives over here.
Yeah, that was really happening, I guess. It's like, hey, it was an honor to be on the same campus as you guys. You guys didn't move your set, from what I've been told, even though it was an ESPN game. There was little petty tricks happening. I think Colorado State was covered beautifully, and we appreciate people rocking with us every single Saturday morning. But it took a lot for me not to be like, all right, what are you, children? Is that what we're doing here? Is that how this thing's going? You know what I mean? Like that was, is that what we're doing? ESPN people are going to be pissed I even brought this up.
Yeah.
But it was like, as it was unfolding, I'm like, you got people standing around, 6 a.m., standing around going, hey, over here. It's like, all right, bro, relax. I mean, there's 3 hours. I assume everybody is going to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of matriculate to.
We assume that that's how it's going to be. So we appreciate that. But we do know that the game day folks were very proud of Saturday's show, very pumped about the 400th headgear. I think that piece that was done had me crying up on the set. I think a lot of people did. And then The Rock in prime being there. And that crowd was on Friday they were amazing. Saturday they were incredible. I mean, it was awesome out there.
Yeah.
Very, very lucky to be a part of this entire thing.
Long day for them, too. For them to be out there, I'm assuming 5 in the morning, probably 6 in the morning, and then all the way till
10 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
That game went
Kickoff.
off probably midnight over there, 12:30.
Then overtime was 2.
Yep.
Yeah, so 12:30.
Then still rush to Phil out there.
Friday, South Bend. Let's go.
Come on.
Oh, yeah.
We got some guests lined up, I do believe.
Here we go.
Okay? We got some guests lined up that should make Friday pretty awesome. We hope people will come hang out with us. You think Ohio State people will be in town by Friday already?
They'll be making their way. I don't know if they'll be there by noon on Friday, but there'll be some probably.
Okay. Well, maybe there'll be some red in there, some Ohio State red. Maybe there'll be some people from the surrounding area coming to see us. Maybe there'll be some Notre Dame fans that come see us or students come see us. We can't wait. Hopefully we won't be out there alone. If we are, we'll do our thing. Hopefully there isn't 5 minutes and 26 seconds of muted air.
That'd be nice.
On ESPN, us coming live, or a graphic just running over the show. Remember that was the first week.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
When we couldn't run video and then a graphic runs over and there's no talk back and the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's all right. We'll get it fixed for next week. Muted, 5 minutes, 26 seconds. All right. We're working through things. This next one, about to be the best one.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Complete show.
Absolutely. It's going to be a full thing. Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, bingo. I sure hope, or else week 3, usually that's where it kind of, all right, we've had time to figure this out.
No, they will, though.
They
Good
will.
people.
Yeah.
I think people want to figure it out. Some people.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some
They
people
do.
that are,
They really do. Honestly, all the people there, like
not all.
everyone's been great.
Couple seven,
I don't know.
Yeah, not all.
I don't know everybody, but a lot of the people we interact with, honestly, are awesome.
I
Enjoy it.
agree. I concur.
For sure.
Everybody that we interact with and mingle with would like us to do this more often.
For sure.
Like they're like, hey, this has been fun. We would want you to do this, and it was not the plan to do this every single week. We'd like to let everybody know that. First week we did it Alabama. It's because we have the simulcast,
Yeah.
and then it was like Colorado. They're like, hey, The Rock says.
Yeah.
The Rock said
Mm-hmm.
that if you go out there, like, certainly would make the trip out earlier to be hanging out with the boys. And then, like, Dion says he wants to come on and hang out with the boys. And, like, Stephen A's going to be out there said he wants to come on, hang out with the boys. It's like, well, okay, so we got to go out there.
That's a no-brainer.
Are we going to be able to run videos? Are they going to cut graphics over top of our thing? Are we going to be able to hear ourselves? Is it going to be able to be a show? Because I understand we're just on the internet, but like would like to respect the people that watch and listen. Absolutely got it all figured out. They did. They worked their asses off. And then it was muted for 5 minutes, 26 seconds, which leads me to saying that there are some people who are very pissed that they have to work another show. I do believe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those people are not the happiest that they have to work another show. And they happen to be in some positions where we never see them. They're just hiding in a truck. And I appreciate and respect the fact that they have no appreciation for our show going because it's extra work for them, but also, like, not our fault.
No.
You know? So, like, just a little bit of help has been the conversation amongst the parties. And I think it's going good.
Yeah.
I think this week should be awesome.
Perfect week.
Very excited.
Massive part of joining ESPN or a network was so that we could go do shows on the road.
Yes.
And not have to deal with production. because production is a nightmare. Whether it's dealing with signal, service, microphones, audio, everything has to be figured out. You have to hire people for it. So joining ESPN, a big part of it was we can go do shows on the road, and they have the team to kind of handle it and take care of it. I think this is the week that it all comes together fully, and we appreciate all the hard work, and we can't wait to get to South Bend on Friday.
Hell yeah.
That being said, I am not staying up till 2 a.m. on Friday night like I did this past week.
Well, I don't know if South Bend has the same amenities as Denver, but
Bro, SmackDown happening right down the road.
Yeah.
It was hard not to get jacked up about
It had to.
It was hard not to just
That was no
have
matter
a
what.
day.
That was a once in a lifetime weekend.
But I think up at Notre Dame, going to want to see the place. I think the lacrosse boys are giving me a tour.
Nice.
I think the lacrosse boys are taking me on a tour around campus. Can't wait to see what they do for every single day.
Yeah, they said there's some buzz for Friday.
You could head down to happy hour at the Embassy Suites too. That that's probably about the extent of.
There's a lot going on.
Well,
at South
yeah,
Bend.
not on the campus, but
I can't wait. We're pumped to get there. We appreciate everybody rocking with us every single day. Be a friend, tell a friend. Hey, AJ, good work today, bud.
Good work to you guys.
Darius, good work today.
Great work.
Everything DB with that good D was good.
Oh, yeah.
Good
Tone,
D.
great work today.
Thank you, Pat.
Ty, great work today.
Thank you.
Connor, great work today.
Good, Pat.
Everybody in the back, great work today.
I'm clapping. I'm belated, aren't I?
Team on me, team on three. 1, 2, 3.
Team.
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Goodbye.